what we do. Okay. 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 House. This is 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 what we do. Okay. 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 Okay.
When you step into the light, you're never there for long. Rush into a ride, but you're already gone. It may break my heart, but you do what you want. I give all I am to you, I give a lot. Rush into a ride, but I'm already gone. I'm already gone.
Welcome, everybody. It's been a long, arduous season, and it's almost over, but we got a small pit stop here. It is the Blue Otter League semifinals for the Diamond League. We've got the number 1 seed, We Love Soulbert, who kind of came out of nowhere near the end of the season, against the number 5 seeded Goth Boi Clique. My name is Yanni. I'm joined by Gofarino. Gofarino, it's been an incredible season for these two teams, full of growth.
Yeah, I mean, we love Soulbert much more towards the middle of the pack earlier in the season. I know I didn't because I'm in Rizen's big pocket, so I always put them at number 1. Still, though, it's gonna be a bloody series tonight, I am assuming here, because these teams, even with the seeding difference, are probably going to be pretty damn close here. We've seen Goth Boi Clique be able to take down the Titans here. I believe it was CB Diamond they're able to take down in 2-0 fashion. It was either them or Lotus. I can't remember which one. And We Love Soulbert have also made a name for themselves with their own 2-0 against CB Diamond.
Yeah, it's been really crazy to see these Titan Slayers go up and knock up some of the top teams, and now they're facing each other, so realistically speaking, you could expect an evenly matched fight here. You're into the picks and bans. A couple of bans on your screen already. Camille Graves and Lee Sin for the side of Goth Boi Clique. Meanwhile, the team of Soulberts, they're going with the Lysandra, the Zillion, and the Volibear out of the way. Ornn was the first pick here for Goth Boi Clique, but We Love Soulbert respond with a champion that we've been seeing more and more of. It's Nocturne.
Yep, I believe we've seen it a good handful of times here in the Blue Otter Diamond League, even before it started picking up some steam in Pro, which kind of hints at the junglers here in the Blue Otter Diamond League just having a bit of an affinity for... It's not a ghost, but it's a ghost champion for all intents and purposes. You go ooga booga booga, fly onto them. You're not exactly Casper when it comes to niceness. And now you have these double globals with the Nocturne, with the Jinx, that do provide a lot of execution. Not the largest amount of utility here, Yanni, but if you do happen to get someone just stray on their own, you can pop them pretty damn quick from far away.
Yeah, if you split up, you will not survive. Couple of interesting notes. That Nocturne is a takeaway from Over8, who has been a boon for Goth Boi Clique later on in the season, so they're going to be forced on something else. It'll be that Viego. And another interesting note is that We Love Soulbert, they're playing with a Wild Terry tonight, who has not played since their Week 1 loss against VBU. We'll have to see how the synergy kind of shakes out with the rest of the team.
Because, definitely pretty damn huge change to just be getting a completely new player when it's literally the semifinals. There's also no losers bracket, mind you, so if you lose here today, well, it is the end of your season. You still made it a pretty damn good long way, but both these teams definitely want to be vying for that spot in finals, because if you win tonight, you do book the ticket to the grand finals here. We Love Soulbert, though, going to be rounded off with this Victor. You have the Jinx Victor. Strong backline scaling, great at those front-to-back team fights, and do bring that very long range when it comes to these team fights. So, pretty standard so far from We Love Soulbert, with the X factor of that Nocturne in the jungle.
Want to make a little bit of a revision. If you lose here, you do go to the third place match. That being said, nobody plays in a season to play for third place. Everybody comes in to win and play for first place and raise that Blue Otter League Cup at the end of the season. As you mentioned, these compositions can hit you from a mile away on the side of We Love Soulbert with the Jinx and the Victor. Zaya is going to be tasked with shutting down this Jinx early. Getting into the second half of the bans, Rakan, the first one banned by We Love Soulbert, want to get rid of the Lovers duo in the bot lane.
Makes sense, yeah. Even though we haven't been seeing the Lovers duo super hard bound, given the new, more independent lethality Zaya build, it is still that strong combo. You do still have that very strong level 1, even with the summon Aerie. And Goth Boi Clique, going to be securing some pretty decent scaling for themselves here. You have that Viego in the jungle, who can steal these hyper carry stats by possessing them. Does also scale up pretty decently well themselves into that kind of tanky bruisery assassin melee DPS champion. And then you have Ornn, who's got quite a bit of notoriety over these past few days, thanks to the LCS and being known as that C9 Slayer.
Yeah, some players just can't play against tanks, so We'll just see if a Wild Terry is going to make sure they're not cosplaying C9 Summit today and
Yeah.
ruin the game for his team. Wukong, another ban out of the Goth Boi Clique. That is a champion that we have seen a whole lot of recently because of the recent buffs, making him so much stronger in many different roles. I don't want to play against that in the top lane. We Love Soulbert. They got rid of the Corki, which, if you remember, was hovered by Goth Boi Clique on the first pick, but not selected.
Makes sense too. Because the Zaya Corki can pair fairly well. They have very quick and easy poke to execute. Zaya, you just walk up QE, QE, QE. Corki, you of course have those rockets. Phosphorus Bomb too if they happen to be closer, but it would have given Goth Boi Clique some pretty decently nasty poke and then let the Viego finish them on off here. We do see the Alawi come out though. I know We Love Soulbert does play this, and it does match up well into the Ornn because the Ornn kind of just a fat tank for you to hit with that Test of Spirit. However, Mordekaiser has been locked in, so this could just be that mid lane Ornn into the Victor.
That would be an interesting choice. There are many different options that Goth Boi Clique has here, and Mordekaiser a pretty strong laner within his own right, so maybe, who knows, this could be a swap of the Ornn and the Mordekaiser trying to get somebody into a favorable matchup of some sort. You can see their last hover. They're not sure what they want to go with. I think Karma would round out the composition very nicely, so it looks like they do need a little bit of movement speed to just get them there, as they're not exactly what you would call mobile champions, and they do opt into the Karma for the final pick of the Goth Boi Clique composition.
Yeah, this Goth Boi Clique composition, pretty damn low range here, Yanni, and that Karma move speed definitely going to be very, very well appreciated. Another big thing is the Mordekaiser Death Realm does have the benefit of it doesn't take the Alawi tentacles with you when you go in, I believe. I remember it's a very specific interaction, and it goes. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure they disappeared that when you go.
I'm pretty sure you're right. I think that's
yeah.
the reason. I mean, and that's the reason why you see the Mordekaiser come out here.
Yeah.
Because it's a good way to counter that Alawi. So it does look like it may be going to the Ornn mid lane unless Goth Boi Clique has decided, you know what, we're going to bring the Mordekaiser to handle the split push out of Alawi.
Putting the Ornn in the mid lane too is interesting because while you will be able to soak up a lot of damage from this Victor on We Love Soulbert, you should not be having a lot of wave prio against this Victor. I believe we saw it last week with an Ahri mid into the Ornn where, yes, the Ornn was able to absorb a lot of the pressure, but the Ahri did have that wave clear advantage, was able to get roams on off. Did not work out for the Ahri's team, but you can see the makings of that in Victor. Definitely going to be pretty similar to that. And having lane control in mid is going to be pretty damn handy when you have this Nocturne that wants to power from up. Look for that level 6. Can look to maybe get some early dragons too, or get a little bit of early skirmishes if you're able to get a roam from your top lane, if you're able to get a roam from the Seraphine with that empowered E. So it's going to be important here for We Love Soulbert in the mid lane, I feel.
Right, and I don't think it's a hot take to say that Victor Nocturne does more damage than Ornn Viego.
Yeah.
Viego is a champion that, while does have some strength in the early game, really starts to shine in the mid to late game, whereas Nocturne is an absolute terror early on. So, as you said, if We Love Soulbert, you know, they're able to keep pushing in on the mid lane, they should have an okay time. And you know what? Earl King on this Victor has had some really impressive performances this season. I had my doubts early on in the season about them, but honestly, after looking at the games and the way that they've played, to me, Earl King, the Earl of the mid lane, is one of the best mid laners in this league, and I think we'll be able to take advantage of this favorable matchup in the mid lane.
It's not a matchup you super heavy win, but it's a matchup you kind of decently chunkily win because you will be able to out CS. And then, as mentioned with the wave prio, you can use that to translate into either objectives or roams. What I'm curious though here is because We Love Soulbert, this Nocturne for them does not really have the best assassination targets here, Yanni, because you go in with the Paranoia. I mean, you're not assassinating the Ornn. You're not assassinating the Mordekaiser. Zaya should be able to use that Featherstorm ultimate to dodge out of a lot of your damage. And that's going to be a bit of a nightmare to deal with. And I'm not even going to touch on the whole Death Realm thing here. So I'm curious if We Love Soulbert, if we're going to see a much more tanky, well, bruisery, fightery Nocturne over the more traditional Assassinating Nocturne.
That's an excellent point that you make, and I wonder how much of this Goth Boi Clique composition was changed due to the Nocturne pick. I mean, you saw what happened with the Alawi pick. It baited out the Mordekaiser, which, you know, remains to be seen whether or not that's going to be favorable, as we have to play the games, of course. But Nocturne is going to have a hard time. That being said, they can still get so much value out of their ultimate in the team fighting, make things hard on Goth Boi Clique to execute, because their composition requires careful execution.
Goth Boi Clique's composition definitely it's a very brute force composition. I mean, Mordekaiser has to walk up to you. Viego does also have to walk up to you. Ornn has a little dash, but like it's a little dash. Let's be honest here. You're gonna be having to go through quite the death realm here, with the Jinx mowing you down, with the Victor mowing you down as well. And if you all just happen to walk into a massive Lowy ultimate here from a Wild Terry, well, things are gonna go south real quick.
And you might be walking into it because of a Seraphine ultimate. You know, we didn't even really talk about Final Ninja picking the Seraphine here into this Karma, so will allow a lot of shielding and a little bit of healing for Soulbert to kind of get things going. As we know, Soulbert, the model of consistency, really this bot lane for We Love Soulbert has been incredibly consistent all season long, performing very well. So as long as they play within themselves, I think they should be fine. That being said, go for, you know, we are in the spectator delay, so we are going to take a very short break. I was trying to get ahead of myself. We're going to take a very short break, and when we return, it'll be Yanni and Gofrino giving you all the action on the Rift, not the Rift. Welcome, everybody. We have hit the rift for game one here between Goth Boi Clique and We Love Soulbert. We Love Soulbert on the red side, you know, because they got Soulbert on their team, and Goth Boi Clique on the blue side. Go Farino, it's been a very long season so far. I thought the ace of We Love Soulbert was the jungler, Jalingo, but I think it's actually Earl King, as I mentioned shortly at the end of the draft. I doubted this team early on in the season, but they're trying to prove that with the power of friendship, you too can win championships.
That's true. I mean, this is the friendship team by name. Or maybe it's more than a friendship. It could be a love interest, because it is We Love Soulbert and we're not platonic with Soulbert, so...
If you're platonic with Soulbert, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. Also, I love the origin of platonic, like... Actually, I can't talk about the origin here.
Invented by Plato, the Greek philosopher.
No,
No,
it was invented in accordance to Plato, because back then in ancient Greece, it was expected at their universities that students and professors would do that thing with the birds and the bees.
Ah, yes.
And Plato
I mean,
didn't do that. So people said platonic for when you don't birds and the bees with your professor, which is like such a really memey origin if you think about it. Like, yeah, we're just friends.
Hey,
But
me and
the
my
context is, yeah,
we're
we
just
did.
friends.
know.
Not friends with that red buff. As it started on the top side here, leashless as well. Pretty interesting. Looks like just gonna be vertical jungling at this point. Both of these sides is, you know, they both started on the red side.
Could be vertical jungling. Don't see too strong of a push up from the lanes here to really force it. All the lanes, because if we saw bottom and mid pushed in here for Goth Boi Clique, then you could really make a good case for overrate, trying to go for a bit of vertical jungling, but the lanes as is, probably just going to be a little bit of a chill pill here with everybody just doing a full clear.
Yeah, nothing too crazy going on, especially with no Ignite on the side of Goth Boi Clique. We touched upon that very shortly before the game started, you and I, that their lack of Ignite could potentially hurt them, because it means a Wild Terry is just going to be left unchecked, healing away, unless somebody's able to pick up some Grievous Wounds.
And they definitely can itemize Grievous Wounds here. Bit of a gank coming out of the top lane.
The flash by overrate. The turret's going to come through. I think it's going to kill him. It's first blood going over to a Wild Terry. Yoshishi will manage to survive.
Does get the trade.
Yeah. It could have been worse. It was not great, but it could have been much worse. And keep in mind, remember last week, Goth Boi Clique against VBU, they had so many early leads and kept tossing them away, but eventually were able to hang on to some of them. So interested to see if they really turn it up to 11. And you can see there, I mean, this team, we talked about how aggressive they were. I mean, Overrate just went in on the turret dive.
Yeah. Even with the missed flash Maw.
He didn't care.
I think the E's called Vile Maw. I think it's Maw something. I just remember the icon. It has that cute or that funny little mouth like it's like it's like a sock puppet if it had fangs, you know?
Listen, so you better beware of the creepy sock puppet. Could cause problems for you later on down the line.
I mean, if you think about it, Viego taking your soul, it's kind of like a really messed up
No. Listen. My co-caster that I casted with on Saturday referred to Viego taking the soul of somebody as a skin suit. And no more are we doing these weird similes or metaphors, I should say, for that champion. You see the top laners duking it out a little bit. Yoshishi getting a big shield, and a Wild Terry takes a big mace to the face. Early aggression at a Goth Boi Clique.
Really good too by them. Or should be fine here. But Wild Terry, interestingly enough, going for the tier on the first back, this isn't something I've really seen on Alawi's quite yet. I'm thinking that's probably going to become a Thimble Vernter. Just so you get that extra shield and that extra boost of health. You don't really need that extra proc damage from the Manamune, I think. Not entirely sure, though. This is new ground for me. But when you're eating those isolated Qs from Yoshishi, you're going to be taking a fat load of damage.
Yeah, and you know what? This is new ground for us all, really, because how often do you see Alawi in team play? It's incredibly rare. So, I mean, we're at the new frontier, Goferino. This is Blue Otter League semifinals, and you bust out the pocket picks like this. Yoshishi still has that ultimate available, is going to use it. Are they going to be able to find the kill onto a Wild Terry? The shielding is big. The auto attacks are strong. You are not Alawi to play the game. Yoshishi on a killing spree, looking to turn this one around on Jalingo. Jalingo with a good spell shield, able to walk out. But the top laner of Goth Boi Clique looking to become a menace early.
Yep, and I know what the thought process there was from Jalingo and a Wild Terry. Like, let's just get this shoved in. You get the free back. You come back. You don't really have to worry about this as much. But it does go south because you death realm the Alawi. Wild Terry's kind of stuck in there with you. Not level 6, so can't use the Leap of Faith to really challenge you. You lose one. You lose a lot of time as well on that top side as Jalingo's Nocturne. And it just gives over a free kill, a free dragon to the enemy team. Goth Boi Clique definitely enjoying the early game here. Climbing up to a nice little lead coming into the, I guess, later stages of the early game. Or mid stages of the early game.
What I do find concerning, though, is it's really only Yoshishi, right? Because Goth Boi Clique, as a collective unit early on in their games, were able to get these leads everywhere on the map. Now, do I think there's going to be anybody on the side to shut down this Mordekaiser? That remains to be seen. However, having multiple strong threats on the team is better than just having one.
Yep, it definitely is. Especially when you're having to run the gauntlet, so to speak, when it comes to these team fights. If you want to, you could work the split push game with Yoshishi with how far ahead they are. Yes, there will be an eventual point where Wild Terry will have enough items to really compete with you, but now's not that time.
Oh my god, the damage is absolutely ridiculous at this point in the game. It's another kill for Yoshishi over coming up top and making things happen. And Jalingo farming to level 6 is finally level 6, but needs to make a play soon somewhere because the momentum is starting to go further and further toward Goth Boi Clique.
That's the thing, though, with this Nocturne pick right here. It's really hard to gank a lot of these lanes. Top lane is losing way too hard for you to realistically even visit at this point. Like, if you go there, you're probably not finishing off this Mordekaiser from Yoshishi. You're probably giving over one in return. Okay, what about mid lane? Possibly doable if we see Hamlet pushed up, but
It's so hard to kill.
yeah, it is a tank in the mid lane, and you're not able to burst him quick with how small or short the mid lane is. Hamlet's just going to be able to get back to that turret just fine. So bot lane is really your best bet, but neither Zed does now have that Featherstorm ultimate. Will give them a lot of leeway when it comes to dodging any burst from Jalingo. And Nahor, probably the most vulnerable here, but does at least have the exhaust, so it's a little tricky for Jalingo. It's workable if you look towards mid or bot. It's just, it's a rough place, like Wild Terry is.
Like the top lane.
Yeah, what are you gonna do about that? Like,
cry?
yeah,
not blind Alawi, not blind. I mean, it's really not that. It's not a blind actually. I thought it was gonna be the Ornn, and you know what? Credit to Goth Boi Clique for their flexibility in this draft. Yoshishi picking up the counter, 5-0, sub 10 minutes right now, and he's just gonna, you know, there's a saying that my friends and I have in League when you allow somebody to get fed. I have created a problem and I do not plan on doing anything about it. That's what the Wild Terry is in for right now. They're just priced in right now. It's going to be a big problem for the rest of We Love Soulbert.
Potential gang shaping up in the bot lane here. This is hard, though.
Oh, Jalingo went in on the flash target. The exhaust is down. Double charm by Final Ninja. Good flash by Final Ninja as well to be able to survive. Jalingo has to run away. Earl King coming for backup, but so is Hamlet. Going to meet each other here in the tri-brush as Earl King trying to put down as much damage as possible. Doesn't have a whole lot right now. Call the Forge God is only going to hit Jalingo. They're looking for a re-engagement. The teams are split, but the laser from Victor, that death ray, does a lot of damage right now, and it forces off any further engagement.
And Earl King going for the first strike in this matchup over the conventional Ares / Comet we usually see. A lot of that's because you're gonna get a lot of natural value against this melee tank who's gonna be okay. My name's Hamlet. You're gonna be throwing a lot of damage at me. I'm a tank though. I can take it. And it's like, well, why don't I just turn you into a wallet more or less, and I'm just gonna punch a bunch of pennies out of you. It's like, yeah,
it's like the piggy bank. You know, like Hamlet, the piggy bank. It just writes itself.
I don't know that Shakespeare reference. I mean, I've had to read Hamlet, but I don't remember the plot. Already farmed 253 gold though from the first strike.
I can't tell if you're trolling me. I'm sorry.
I mean, I've read Hamlet. I even took like a Shakespeare class, and it actually wasn't all that bad.
The beginning of his name is Ham, and a piggy bank is a pig.
Bad.
There we go.
Relevant plot stuff like. Because wasn't there like a whole, my father wants me to get revenge for his death?
Oh, I
so
can't
I'm just gonna accidentally kill some people.
High school was a long time ago for me. You have to remember, it's been almost 10 years. Please don't remind me. Second Drake of the game falling. It's going to go over toward the side of Goth Boi Clique. They've secured the first two pre-12 minutes, and it's a Mountain Soul, which, as I learned this weekend watching LCS, has the highest win rate of all of the souls. About 93%.
Yeah, technically, but I also remember on that cast, like, I think it was Zale who called out a Freak who was saying that it's like, yeah, but it's like a 4% or 5% win rate difference.
Oh yeah,
so it's like 88% versus like 93 and 94% win rate. It's like, yeah.
Listen,
like,
it's just a fun fact.
Yeah.
You know? Listen, I'll take a Mountain Soul or I'll take an Infernal Soul. It's fine by me.
I mean, Mountain Soul for this team for Goth Boi Clique, definitely going to be very much appreciated with just how fat they are. Having all that extra shield to really just chew through any damage they might be taking, gonna be a bit of a godsend here, to say the least. That's if they do get it, though. This game, if you look at the naked gold here, still pretty damn even. Probably gonna bust open a lot larger when the first turret does fall. Plates are still available. Overrate once again visiting this bot lane. But not a lot of CC to really set up a gank.
They're just going to try to force off here. Maybe take some plates. They see Soulbert's low, so they're just looking for any potential opportunity to get their hands on this Jinx. Unable to do so. As all the lanes right now doing pretty well for themselves for the side of Goth Boi Clique. I mean, even though Hamlet's down about 20 CS, still doing okay for themselves. Haven't given up any kills or anything like that. Maybe a lot of gold, as you mentioned, the piggy bank Ornn in the mid lane, but you'll take it. He's there for his utility.
Like, this is kind of a bit of what I expected. I expected Earl King to be able to use like the CS lead to get some more prio, but able to at least get the early Leandries with that, all that extra health damage when you're kind of talking about an Ornn Mordekaiser comp, and then a health stacking Jago in the jungle. It's like, yeah, you know what? You're probably going to get some pretty damn good Leandries value this game. Every time you land a laser, it's just going to chip away at those fatties' health bars.
Things have gotten pretty quiet in the top lane, save for this trade, ever since a Wild Terry was able to pick up the Hull Breaker.
Oh, might not be quiet for longer.
If their fortunes will change, Overrate and Nahor are on the top side, but it looks like they're just going to ping around second Rift Herald. Maybe want to secure that if you were the side of Goth Boi Clique. They did manage to get the first. Here comes an engagement in the mid lane. Call the Forge God will whiff on the second part. The ultimate out of Jalingo to protect Earl King. After the flash was used, I mean, you know, I like the thought there. I like the thought.
Because with 4 people in the mid lane, it's like, yeah, even after you expend that flash, they could still try and go for this. Granted, without the Call the Forge God, without the Spectral Maw, you kind of have Pit Soul for CC when it comes to this 4-man group. So definitely could make the argument that Oracle King was fine and dandy there. Goth Boi Clique climbing up the gold lead now. They got that first turret, getting some extra change in their pockets. They're going to grab this next Rift Herald as well. They're going to have that for the next dragon. Going to be very handy to pressure on things, but Hamlet, they're under a bit of pressure.
Uh-oh, the root there in the middle of 4 members, and that is going to be a death for both Hamlet and Soulbert. However, the turret going to be the one to claim the life of Soulbert. Rift Herald dropped in the top lane. Let's see how much of an advantage Goth Boi Clique can get out of this one. They've got 4 members up top with 3 members on the bottom side for We Love Soulbert. They might love Soulbert, but they are not showing a Wild Terry a lot of love.
Soulbert going down there kind of giga sucks because that's their main turret DPS. And you're contesting with this 4-man squad on the top side that also has a Rift Herald. So, I'll let you guess which of these teams had a better turret pushing power, you know? Just a little bit of a game we like to play.
Yeah.
Similar to the pre-show game, actually, whereas that, not The Price is Right.
It's
Family
Family
Feud.
Feud. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, knockoff, yeah. I got game shows mixed up.
It's okay. It's okay. Favorite game show used to be the Weakest Link. I always like that one. And the Weakest Link so far proving to be a Wild Terry. But you know what? That is okay because they have stabilized the game. Now it is up to them to farm up and get strong. And with both top turrets down, they'll have plenty of opportunity to do so. But the rest of the map, We Love Soulbert may struggle otherwise. We see over 8 with Nahor and Hamlet trying to secure River Vision, and the smite away from over 8 right there is just really difficult game here for Jalingo, who has the farm advantage, but other than 1 assist in the bot lane, has not done a whole lot. Third dragon looks like it is firmly in the grasp of Goth Boi Clique.
Yeah, nothing you can do. There's 4, 5. I almost became full New Jersey / Boston there.
Oh, easy. They're different,
You're
okay?
from Jersey.
Yeah, they're different, okay? Goth Boi Clique, I mean, all season long they've been securing dragons. Second in the league in dragon secures. They are adding 3 more to their total so far. And when you take a look pound for pound at the objective game between these teams, We Love Soulbert not doing so well in the dragon department, not doing so well in the herald department, and it shows in this game.
And I kind of just snowballed from the top lane there because first dragon goes down because you're like, okay, let's try and stabilize top lane. You don't stabilize top lane. In fact, it only gets worse up there. So you give up that dragon. Then the next one, I mean, you just did not have people there for that one. Hamlet might be in danger once again. Able to just do the little orange shimmy on out of that one.
Tried to clear up the wave, but was not able to get all of it in a rapid amount of time. Will result in the mid lane turret going down for Goth Boi Clique. We see Terry wants to take the fight with this Mordekaiser. Gets pulled into the death realm. Terry, no. Back it up. Put it in reverse, Terry. 6th death on this top laner. 6-0 Mordekaiser. And Wild Terry was still worth a lot of gold there.
Helpward from Earl King here to respond to the mid lane as well. Even though it's only like a 1,000 gold difference, it kind of feels like a lot more here with how Goth Boi Clique have been able to command the map here, Yanni, because you snowball the top lane is like, okay, they can't do anything about that. So wherever the hell we put this now 6-0 Yoshishi Mordekaiser, Soulbert's team just can't really do squat about that. So that's letting them just dictate so much of the map here. You have the Super Accelerator Mordekaiser sitting on the Rylai's as well, so as soon as a single little bonk hits you, good luck getting away from that one, bucko.
And it looks like the Mordekaiser going to back. It's the side of Goth Boi Clique taking a reset dragon in about less than 3 minutes. Remember, Mordekaiser does not have teleport available, so if they want to secure this dragon, they're going to have to move Yoshishi around strategically to ensure the secure.
Granted, though, Wild Terry, with their current build, really just the
QSS
here into Sheen. Yeah, like the QSS, I understand.
Yeah.
You kind of need it at this point. I don't think it's gonna save you, but if you at least have a fighting chance, if you're able to use your leap of faith, then hey, you know, that's something.
Well, the tentacles stay outside of the Death Realm,
Yes.
right? So if you QSS the Death Realm, all of a sudden your tentacles are back, and you might be able to turn the fight.
Um.
I don't know if it's gonna work, but I mean,
Yeah,
you're one in
not.
6. You have to try something, right?
You definitely have to try something around this next string. That's in 2 minutes. Hopefully try something before then. You do still have this Nocturne for Jalingo that's pressed the button twice so far this game.
They're doing it on spawn. This could be a potential big throw here. As Earl King sniffs this one out. Gonna fire the laser over the wall and knows what's up. That means the mid lane is going to rotate. It's a 4v4 currently. A Wild Terry has teleport available. So does Hamlet. Baron doing a little bit too much damage to Yoshishi there as Goth Boi Clique forced to back off of it. Good job by We Love Soulbert to prevent anything further. Trying to poke out Knight of the Zed here, and they're doing a pretty good job of it. Just need to be wary of that big Mordekaiser.
Anyone who gets pulled by that hand probably gonna be dying here. But stalling that out, We Love Soulbert does love that. Not too much risk from Goth Boi Clique there. They did wisely back off when they were caught. It's like, okay, you guys caught us. Because they don't really have the best Baron taking power here. You have this Lethality Zaya. You have this Mordekaiser. Yes, it is a fed Mordekaiser, but Mordekaiser are not exactly known for their damage against objectives, so will take a little bit of time. You gotta marinate the Baron just a little bit before you go in for that. Much like an Olive Garden Endless Breadstick and Olive.
Endless breadsticks. It was endless. I mean, realistically speaking, Yoshishi felt like it was endless breadsticks up in the top lane because you cannot be sad when you've got endless breadsticks, and you cannot be sad when you have 6 kills on the board right now. Looking to potentially wipe out Tomato Town here at this last dragon. I mean, things
you gotta do something.
Yeah, you have to make a move here. You cannot just let them get it for free.
Okay, there's a teleport.
Yeah, here we go. Wild Terry.
Though.
Uh-oh, here comes Call the Forge God. Soulbert flashed into it. Soulbert could be in a lot of trouble. Final Ninja has been knocked up. A lot of things going on. Hamlet is going to get the first kill. But the Mordekaiser is down. Earl King is very strong right now in his full HP, but it is a 4v3 currently. Earl King trying to back it up, using the death ray to keep themselves alive. The pings are going down onto the dragon. The problem is Overrate is still very healthy. Earl King rooted up, but we know that one laser...
does not have the ulti, though.
Yeah, one laser could spell disaster for the side of Goth Boi Clique. Jalingo trying to get in there as well. Soulbert low, but wants to be a part of this fight. Dragon down to about 5,000 HP as We Love Soulbert is homing in trying to make a play. Hamlet finds a knock-up. The traps go out, and they're going to root up Hamlet. Jalingo is getting lower and lower. It's up to Earl King to make a play here. There's only about 1,000 HP, and it is going to be smited by Hamlet, so that does mean that the Mountain Soul secured by Goth Boi Clique. Earl King trying to turn the fight, but you can see the resistance is doing so much now for the side of Goth Boi Clique. Great objective control.
And it was super early, so like pre-23 minutes, that's kind of nearly as fast as you can get it, I believe. I think the fastest you can get is probably like a bit over 21 minutes. I can't quite remember. But even though the gold lead looks this insanely close, and yes, that team fight was pretty decently close, Mountain Soul's gonna kind of change the game here. Like, good luck with just a last whisper trying to cut through these now super fat tanks that you're having to deal with on the front line.
You know, I think about how well the rest of the side of We Love Soulbert is doing, and I can't help but think that you remember in the draft when the Ornn was picked, and we were asking if a Wild Terry was going to do their best Summit cosplay. Well, they have so far, and things are not going so hot for them as Earl King pulled into the Death Realm, has the shield, has the flash, trying to survive. Nocturne ultimate down, trying to make the mid laner live, but Earl King, it just falls. Yoshishi does so much damage. Super Mega Death Rocket does not land. However, credit to the kill does go over to Earl King.
And that's not really the most worthwhile trade there. Because giving up your 6-1 Ornn for their 1-0 Victor, yes, Earl King is the biggest damage threat on this We Love Soulbert team right now until Soulbert themselves Raleigh gets IE. But that's such a massive component that you have to threaten these side lanes just down. And a Wild Terry, more than happy to sit on this bot side right now, Yanni, because what's Hamlet gonna do? Even with the Mountain Soul, Wild Terry can still do some pretty decent damage to this Ornn. Will be able to get through. It's not like Hamlet's Ornn really has a ton of threat without some homies in the area. So it definitely has been a story of stabilization here after that very cataclysmic early game for the top lane from We Love Soulbert. And Goth Boi Clique, they're going to want to really work this Mountain Soul here because it's going to be great for team fighting. You have a lot of tools for team fighting. Now you just got to put two and two together and smooch.
If you want to hang your hat on something, it's that a Wild Terry still has so much room to get stronger. Bit of a garage sale build going on here. Still waiting to build their mythic. Still waiting to finish their tier item. You know, they're probably going to get a Silvermere Dawn later on in the game. I'm sure that's neither here nor there, though. So this does mean that the top laner for the side of We Love Soulbert can get stronger. The top laner for the side of Goth Boi Clique is also getting stronger. Manages to find another solo kill onto Earl King. I thought Earl King would have learned after the first time things went poorly, and this does mean that the Baron may be all but Goth Boi Clique's.
We'll see. Because there is a rocket.
Yeah,
there is a paranoia.
They're pulling off. Jalingo Flash got knocked up.
Wild Terry just going
down and whiffs. A Wild Terry did do quite a bit of damage, but unable to secure any kills. Final Ninja just backing it up, trying to find a way out, but gets pulled in and gets absolutely blasted. Too much damage on the side of Goth Boi Clique. They're looking to head back onto this Baron right now. They've bought some time for Earl King to respawn. Does have teleport available as well, so this could still be okay for the side of We Love Soulbert, but he needs to get here quick.
Yeah, Jalingo has no flash, has no paranoia, has to rely on just walking into the pit or taking that blast cone on over. It's a very hard sell, though, because, yeah, that's why.
Jalingo in trouble. Earl King trying to get the death rays down and do what they can. Soulbert trying to look at the auto spacing there, but will fall anyway. It is a double kill for Over8. And I think this game may have just gotten away from We Love Soulbert as Goth Boi Clique firmly in control and will secure the first Baron of the game.
Just objective game has been on point here for Goth Boi Clique, snowballing a top lane lead. Across the map, it feels the gold lead is still technically within reach of We Love Soulbert, but this Mountain Soul, way too much to overcome right now. You're now going to have to deal with a Baron buffed up Yoshishi in the side lane, just split pushing. You didn't really have an answer before, but now you're forced to deal with it much sooner, while there's Baron minions in other lanes kind of just barreling on down at you. Oh, and there's also Elder in a minute, by the way.
Oh yeah, forgot that was a thing.
Yeah.
We see the ornaments coming out, deicide for Over8, and Kathia's curse up in the top lane for Yoshishi. Now, I mean, the strong members of the side of Goth Boi Clique continue to get stronger, and they're going to get even stronger after they secure this Elder Drake, because I really don't think that We Love Soulbert can contest this.
Because it's like, we can kind of see the damage here for We Love Soulbert. You have this 2.5 item Jinx, you have this 3 item Victor, but it's just not enough. You're not able to get through these now bolstered frontliners with that Mountain Soul fast enough. And Mountain Soul kind of making more and more people front lines here, because even Over8's getting decently tanky with that Ornn upgrade, with the Mountain Soul, with the extra health and armor. So, yeah, you know, that's a fun time to deal with.
And this is the problem that you run into. Take a look at the items for the side of We Love Soulbert. Look at the carries. They have penetration, but they don't have raw damage stats. You know who has raw damage stats? Yoshishi on top of Jalingo in the Death Realm. Jalingo made things go dark, got the fear off, but spawns right next to Nahor. However, Yoshishi getting mobbed by 3 members, make it 2, almost make it 1, but Soulbert is going to tick away from the Ignite. Look at everything that Yoshishi did, while the rest of the team is going to secure the Elder Drake. A Wild Terry in a 1-on-3 is going to flash over the wall. Nobody able to catch him. And just the Mordekaiser soaking up all that pressure. It was a 4-on-2, and they won the fight.
Yeah. That's the thing about this Fed Mordekaiser. Like, once you get into the heat of things, Earl King's dead. Oh, okay.
Earl
Barely
King.
alive for now.
Well, Overrated spotted him out. Earl King's going to have to make something happen here in order to survive, as Overrated is in hot pursuit, trying to get the shields, the movement speed, but is just overall on the wrong side of the tracks. Call the Forge God lands, and that's going to blow him up. Hamlet from downtown picks up kill number 2 on the game for him. His Ornn mid, well, it didn't do a whole lot in the early game, has certainly had an impact. Scoreline doesn't necessarily show that.
And scoreline doesn't really show for a lot of these players, because out of the 18 kills, most of these people have participated in like 4 max. So many kills just kind of focus towards that top side when it comes to solo kills, and it's like, yeah, it kind of makes sense. Yoshishi ran away with top lane just a little bit here, you know. How it be?
Yeah, you know, sometimes it's just how the cookie crumbles. The gold lead swelling to 6,000 as you see Yoshishi is just pushing forward, zoning the entirety of We Love Soulbert. The king of the Goths, Yoshishi, just commanding the entire clique to push forward as the middle inhibitor has fallen. A Wild Terry has been marked by the Elder Soul. The Elder Drake, I should say, as Yoshishi's going to take a little bit of damage as they were stuck under the turret, but they should be okay. And it looks like the rest of the side of Goth Boi Clique will pull out here with Baron spawning in about 2 minutes. They're just going to pillage the jungle.
Makes sense. Gold lead kind of has spiraled out of control at this point. Because there's just too much value with the soul being added to an already fat front line.
Mm-hmm.
And Mountain Soul is just so devastating to face when you're behind, because you already kind of struggle to do damage. But now you have to minimize this pad.
Here we go. That's a 3-person ultimate by Final Ninja. Final Ninja's going to die to Overrate, though. Are they going to be able to get the damage out? Soulbert is free hitting, but not doing any damage, and is now drawn the ire of the Goth Boys and their clique. Yoshishi, kill number 11. It's Earl King and Jalingo, the last one standing, and nobody on the side of Goth Boi Clique has fallen. Top inhibitor, though, the one to go down. The push on to the Nexus turrets. Earl King trying, but the death rays just do not do any damage right now. There's an engagement onto Jalingo. Jalingo trying to fight it out, trying to find a kill into Overrate. Has gone golden. Overrate does fall. Give credit to Earl King. Jalingo flashes away and falls, just like the final Nexus turret. As Goth Boi Clique, they are keeping at bay all of the members of We Love Soulbert, and they played a great objective game, and they really earned a Game 1 victory.
Just kind of crushing out We Love Soulbert here. It felt like We Love Soulbert just not really able to do anything for most of that game. And, I mean, how many Nocturne ultis did we see used offensively? There just weren't targets here for
2.
Jalingo. Yeah, like...
Had to have been 2. One of the bot lane, one of the top lane.
With how far behind your top lane felt like it just kind of crumbled here for We Love Soulbert, and Goth Boi Clique just recognizing that, like, hey, we're able to get this super early soul. We're able to abuse this super early soul. No one's able to deal with this Fed Mordekaiser in a side lane. I mean, what are they gonna do to us now that we have this mountain soul? Like,
I mean, you did point out in the draft that this was going to be a problem for Jalingo. That the early Nocturne pick into this team that ended up coming together for the side of Goth Boi Clique was going to be very difficult to execute, and you saw it when you've got a champion like this Nocturne who wants to do so much. 0, 3, and 6 is not going to get the job done. They finished with 2 items, a Stride Breaker and an Anathema's Chains. That's not going to get you there.
Yeah, there's kind of a larger symptom here, because Jalingo happened to be the first man in here to engage. It kind of giga sucks, because, even though it was a kind of low damage composition here from Goth Boi Clique, it was also just a super fat composition that you couldn't really do anything against here, and they're able to dissuade any aggression from We Love Soulbert, able to translate that into objectives here after they snowballed that top lane, and really it's just the top lane into objective snowball that won Goth Boi Clique this game so convincingly.
Right, and you know what? I do have to give credit to We Love Soulbert, because a lot of teams, when they get behind like that, they start making these really panicked plays and just going for everything and just shooting their shot. But We Love Soulbert, they played very composed. They kept the gold lead tight all game long. It was only until that Soul fight and then the Baron and then the Elder Drake fight that really was when the game cascaded out of control. Before that, they were behind, but they were playing fairly well. They were farming up. They understood that they scaled it incredibly well, just unable to secure a dragon for their side. So I don't think that this series is going to be, this game is going to be a reflection of the series. I still think there are plenty of games left in this series. There's plenty of play for both of these sides.
And the biggest thing from this game is going to be the interesting shakeup we saw with the flex of the Ornn to the mid there to counter that top, and how well that counter in the top lane did work out, even though they gave 1-for-1 in that early kill. Able to just make it work there in that top lane and snowball. I believe a Wild Terry is someone that's also piloted this allowometric buttload here in this league, so that's going to have ramifications here for the rest of the series, I feel, Yanni.
It was a well-polished and very tight game for a long time. Both of these teams, like we mentioned before, so much growth from the beginning of the season till now, and these two teams very evenly matched, still going head-to-head. We still have at least 2 more games for you left on the docket, so do not go anywhere. We're going to cut away to a very short break, and when we return, we're going to bring you the Game 2 draft between Goth Boi Clique and We Love Soulbert. going on? We are back. It is Yanni. It is Go Farino. It is the Game 2 draft. We're going to speed run the intro, though, because we are already very deep into the draft, taking a look at the bands this time around. Fairly similar, but slightly different. Goth Boi Clique. Actually, no. They banned the exact same things. Both teams have banned the exact same things. I am sorry. Into the picks, though. Goth Boi Clique with the first pick, Warren. Followed up with Jinx Viego on the side of We Love Soulbert. But in my opinion, and many others, strongest bot lane in the game, Nami locked in for Goth Boi Clique.
I haven't heard that take before. I've heard that it's very strong, and it's going to be able to super hard punish this Jinx, and it is a Viego jungle. So, it's not the most threatening early ganks, so you have a lot more leeway to be aggressive in this bot lane. But if you don't pull off that aggression well and mess up, it can go south for you pretty damn quickly. Jinx tends to scale pretty well. Viego, once you have that Lover's Embrace ultimate, you're able to punish and snowball off of those mistakes pretty damn hard. We'll see what Goth Boi Clique can do, because last game, it was a very calm bot lane. We did not see a lot of action as expected. Both sides kind of aggressing a little, but never really having that kill threat. It came down to the junglers just pressuring towers and maybe pressuring dives. That was about it.
Yeah, there should be a big difference here in these bot lanes because Nami love to scrap. Jinx and Braum, they can scrap back a little bit as well because Nami is so squishy. So looking forward to seeing fireworks occur in this bot lane. Bans for Goth Boi Clique. They got rid of that Victor. They did not want Earl King to get it once again. Veigar off the table as well. We Love Soulbert. They decided we don't want to deal with Nocturne. We already tried to play him. We don't want to see him on the other side. Overrate really loves playing him. Get him out of here. And once again, that Corki. Still, this does open many opportunities. Goth Boi Clique's composition is still very flexible. Now that you know that they can play the Ornn in the mid lane, We Love Soulbert, second half of the draft, they open with an Akali.
And that kind of catches me by surprise here, Yanni.
Same.
I mean, picking the Akali, not unheard of. What's more unheard of is picking the Neeko. I can see the thought process behind this, because if the Akali Shuriken flips into you, well, you just channel that Pot Blossom ultimate. So that helps you a lot when it comes to bursting down the Akali. That is, if it is an Akali mid lane, it could be a more bruisery Akali top lane. Not the most unheard of thing. At least compared to Neeko, who's been out of the meta for 2 seasons, I want to say at this point.
It's been quite some time. They did recently buff her on-hit build, so who knows if that's what we'll see come out here. Based on the rest of the team composition, I'm somewhat expecting a regular standard Neeko here. Jarvan going to round out the composition for Goth Boi Clique. Nice amount of CC, decent bit of bulk to him. I like the Goth Boi Clique composition. They are looking to make CC happen in these fights. See what We Love Soulbert rounds out their composition with. They seem a little light on engage. They are going to go with a Gangplank, who everybody has been using as a counter to these melee top laner.
Yeah, especially with the buffs now, if you're able to get that Trial by Fire passive proc off in the mid or later stages of the game, all that extra true damage can be very handy. And the orange buff is actually very noticeable in these tank matchups as well, because tanks tend to have a lot of CC. Orange's cleanse said CC. And not having to drain your entire mana bar when you trump on Zamorges. Pretty nice if you're the GP player. But like you said, We Love Soulbert, very, very light on engage. It's looking like they're going to want to marinate people first with the Gangplank, with the Jinx to an extent as well here, Yanni. And then you have this Viego Akali combo to maybe go in and finish off some people. Goth Boi Clique, though, much more straightforward, similar to last game where it is Unga Bunga, it is up in your face, and it is very fight heavy.
It's easy to execute, and their last composition was okay in terms of execution. It wasn't like super easy. It wasn't overly difficult. I thought We Love Soulbert's composition was a little bit more difficult, and I think this time around it rings true once again. I am a big fan of easy to execute compositions. I find that at this level of play, those are the ones that usually win. So We Love Soulbert might have to work cut out for them, but you cannot discount Earl King. The last time that they played Akali a couple of weeks ago in the last game of the season, 10 0-11. A spotless game, and they have a couple of targets that they can kill fairly easily.
So, looking at the incline draft, Yoshishi is the one on Nico right now. So it's looking to be a
Ooh,
similar
are they going to
situation
do
to
it
last game.
again? I think
With
they
that
are.
top, yeah. Not the most surprising. My biggest question mark is they're gonna be lane swap shenanigans here from either side, because if We Love Soulbert wants to, they can initiate the lane swap, put Earl King top, put a Wild Terry mid lane, and then they get them our more preferred matchups, I would assume. Then we can see Goth Boi Clique, of course, respond with their own lane swap, and then it's just a battle of, okay, I back, now I'm in this lane. Oh, you back, now you're in that lane. Oh, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for the rest of laning phase.
They're going to play yakety sacks with the lanes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
there is something to be said for lane swapping, but at the same time, you know, if Earl King is going to go teleport Ignite, I think you can get away with it, but I think you'd rather have the Akali roaming around from the mid lane and allow a Wild Terry to just blast away with his ultimate. You know, if you're in the mid lane, you're going to be able to ult anywhere regardless if you were in the mid or the top lane. But Akali, the roam potential does get weakened if she's got to run all the way to the bot lane, which is really something that nobody is going to do.
Yeah, almost nobody. At least there's a few champions. You know, if you're Sion, you can pull it off there.
Bro,
If you're Shin, you can pull it off.
They're trolling us. They just swapped champions.
Oh, man.
They might swap back. Who knows? Who knows? We don't know. This is why we don't show the incline draft.
Though.
You can't?
That's usually a rule book in most leagues where you cannot swap champions after 20 seconds.
Yeah, this messed up. That ain't right. All right. Well, luckily, I think everybody's going to get the lanes that they want on the side of We Love Soulbert here. And you know what? Maybe Goth Boi Clique should have elected to send a Nico into the top lane. And who knows? They still might.
It certainly is possible. It's gonna be a big swap up from last game though for Hamlet, going from that full tank Ornn to now this. Actually, what the hell is Nico? Because you're not really a control. I guess you're kind of a control mage, kind of a battle mage.
Yeah, I'd say she's a control mage, but you know, it's all up to opinion. She is a mid laner. She does CC. She does the damage. But you know who else?
There's a lot of mid laners that do that though.
Exactly, so. And you know what? That's fine. That's fine. Why do we have to categorize them? They could just be strong mid laners. Teams that do the damage. Both of these sides can do the damage. Do you think that Jarvan can lack some of it though? And this Nico Hamlet is going to have to pop off. On the other side, We Love Soulbert. They last time around, their last composition was all right, we're gonna scale type deal. This time around, they've got a lot more early aggression. They are looking to take it to the typically aggressive Goth Boi Clique. We will have to see whose aggression wins out in the end, as we are in the spectator delay. Do not fear, my friends. We will be back very soon. And when we are, we'll be on the rift for Game 2 of Goth Boi Clique and We Love Soulbert. Welcome back, everybody, to what is sure to be an exciting game. Yanni and Goferino on the cast. We Love Soulbert, Goth Boi Clique on the Rift. Teams staying on the same sides as game one. Uh-oh.
This should be spotted out. This should be spotted out. Yeah, you just throw down the flag. Unless you hard commit for this, which I guess you can. But, you know, that's the expected thing. That's the thing. It's Jarvan. You put down the flag.
Over
It
8.
gives you, you know.
Gives you stats. Gives you damage. Gives you vision. It's good.
Yeah. Very standard level 1 start because you drop the flag and whoever's leashing you also gets that attack speed boost.
Yeah, and you know what?
Let them get that extra auto in. At the very least, they get their autos in faster and they get to lane faster. Maybe that makes the difference and they hit level 2 first. I don't know.
It's so crazy that like one small thing can happen in a game of League and just change the entire outcome. The butterfly effect of League of Legends, if you will.
Yeah.
All right.
I think of butterfly champions, but I got what? Kog'Maw skin?
I know. Yeah, I mean that's about it. And that's not really a butterfly champion, it's just a skin. You can see bot lane given a nice leash here. They've been spotted out, so the side of Goth Boi Clique knows where Soulbert and Final Ninja are coming to, and they're going to be ready to pounce. Actually, no, they decide to farm up instead of just trying to trap Soulbert and Final Ninja. This is the mistake. They started Lucian Q. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to cheese in the front brush with the Nami E and the Lucian dash, and you get a free press the attack proc with the buffed Lucian passive, with the buffed Lucian auto attacks because of Nami. Nami takes Electrocute, she triggers Electrocute, and that's how you win the lane. Listen, I love playing Lucian, I love playing Nami. I'm sorry I had to take the analyst role there, but God, teams do that all the time, and it really grinds my gears.
It's okay. I was able to eat like a potato chip while you said that.
What kind of potato chips you got?
So my brother did a Costco run today.
Okay.
I was planning on doing one later this week, but he just wanted to do one today. I was like, okay. Got some Kirkland brand kettle cooked chips.
Okay, what flavor?
Pretty good, you know.
What flavor?
It's just standard. The only difference is their seasoned with Himalayan salt.
Oh.
The pink stuff, yeah.
Yes, sir. Everybody
Yes,
loves
sir.
the pink stuff.
Oh, I can't finish that sentence actually. There's a song that starts with "Yes, sir," but it's a very stream unfriendly song.
Yeah, we're just gonna avoid that then. What's pretty unfriendly is the trading here in the mid lane Hamlet, abusing the melee Earl King on the Sakali, doing quite a bit of damage. Has carved out a small CS lead for themselves, as we see over 8. Definitely trying to be more active in this game than they were in the last one. They're gonna have to kick it up to 11. They were pretty active in the early game, but it wasn't anything too crazy.
Makes sense. Over 8 on the Jarvan. Jarvan, very well known for his potent early game ganks. What's not known is this.
Terry's in trouble. Terry's dead.
Um,
It's first blood once again for Yoshishi. This time, he's the one who gets dove, and he is going to survive in the 2v1. I mean, this dude is just playing on a different planet right now.
What the hell was that dive?
I don't know. It was a miscommunication. It had to have been. And,
Like,
you know, last week we thought that, like, Over 8 was going to be the one who had the miscommunications with his team. And, you know, the first game they were okay. But this time around, it is actually Jalingo and a Wild Terry who are not on the same page.
yeah, like, I'm just baffled.
You can't do that in a semifinals match.
Yeah.
If you do not want to go to the finals, I mean, We Love Soulbert is a team that can totally do it. And they cannot afford to give away cheap kills like that.
Yeah. Like, especially since you committed a decent amount of time from Jalingo on that top side. Knowing where this Vigo is, it's time you're not spending just farming to scale. Here's try 2. Yoshishi much further up without the flash. Land the stun here.
All right, there we go.
There
All
we
right,
go.
well executed gank there this time around by Jalingo and a Wild Terry. Give the kill credit over to Jalingo.
Yep. Second time is the charm here. Then your Gucci Nando's in Orlando, as I like to say.
Haven't been in Orlando in years. I think it was like 10.
Oh, I've never set foot in Florida. I don't go into the exclusion zone.
The exclusion zone. What is this, Chernobyl?
I mean, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Well,
Terry's dead.
Terry in a little bit of trouble. That was a
You know.
crafty flash by Over right there to ensure the knockup happened onto a Wild Terry. Not sure if it was necessary, but
It
you
was
love
kind
to
of
see it.
unnecessary.
Listen, mechanical outplay. Good assist there for Over 8 and a second kill for Yoshishi. Earl King, though, is now in a lot of trouble. Hamlet is level 6.
For
Trying to
Hamlet.
get in range. Blast Plant might be able to get him out of there. The Ignite goes down. The Flash burnt by Hamlet and Earl King. Earl King will survive. Uh-oh, here we go. Another turret dive once again, this time onto a Wild Terry. Is Yoshishi able to survive? He's going to searing charge toward the minions. The
Barely.
minions are going to beat him up.
Overrate, though,
Over
you're-
8's going to die. A Wild Terry manages to get the kill. Hamlet is here with the ultimate down, trying to kill Jalingo. Does manage to find Jalingo, but is ignited, getting close to the wall, but has no way out, just
Flash.
trying to deal damage. Soulbert gets credit for that one. Heal burnt. Knight of the Zed dashing forward is
Wait.
going to burn the heal. Up in the top lane, more
Wait.
fighting going on. A Wild Terry picks that
Wait.
one up. And in the bot lane, Nami getting credit on a final ninja. This is the aggressiveness in the early game we wanted to see between these two teams. Back and forth so far in the early going.
What the hell just happened? Like, we thought it was just gonna be another Redux in the top lane. Like, you have the level 6 Yoshishi, you pop the ulti, it's the 2-on-1 advantage. While Terry, sitting there, level 5 as his gangplank, does not have flash, just use teleport to come in. Gets the 2 for frickin' O here in the top lane. Like, what the hell? And then on the bot lane, like, able to get a kill for yourself, able to get that dragon, so we love Soulbert. This is the most amount of objectives they've taken all series. Well, okay, neutral objectives they've taken all series. They were able to take some turrets, but
yeah, they took quite a few. They were matching turret for a while, but you are correct. This is finally the first dragon I should say, they were able to secure. Good stuff out of Jalingo, who has made much more of an impact in 7 minutes of this game than in what 27 to 30 minutes of last game.
yeah, kind of helps that there's you're not a Nocturne against a very tanky composition.
Agreed. Nocturne would have been okay here, but
yeah, it would have been okay, but was also kind of banned.
Oh, yep. Over 8 in a lot of trouble here is about one all the way from death. Jalingo getting credit for that one. 2-1-1 now on the jungler. And Over 8 disconnected, which means this could be problematic as we are into a pause in mid-combat here. Well, I don't believe that we have any rollback rules in this league. I mean,
we physically can't.
Well, hey, listen, maybe
Chrono Shifts is literally just a Tourney Realm LCS thing.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, this is correct. I was going to make a joke that maybe Camcom's got a Chrono Shift in their back pocket or something, and in their back pocket, I don't know. But we are currently in a pause right now with the game state fairly even. So, Gofrino, I'm going to ask, how have you felt about this early game so far, and are these teams happy with the way the game is trending?
I'm not entirely sure. Because it's been 7 minutes and 50 seconds, but it's been a very eventful 7 minutes and 50 seconds. Yes, it was kind of calm at first, up until the first blood, but then after that, it's just kind of been action throughout here. I think the biggest benefactors are We Love Soulbert, though, because you kind of have kills on all your main carries right now. 2 kills as this is super scaling Gangplank. 2 kills for this Viego that can snowball. And then Soulbert gonna appreciate the kill as well. This bot lane for Goth Boi Clique not able to get their Jazz going, it seems. We are getting some R's in chat here. If we are going to do any resyncing on our end, I don't know.
Things should be okay here. We're just waiting on everybody to be readied up and kick the game back off once again in a pause. Unsure how long it's going to last. We know Over 8 did reconnect, and it looks like we are back in the action.
Oh, right back into the action for sure. Hamlet going to be able to shimmy on out of that one, though. That is one of the great things about Nico when you have that little deceptive clone available. You have that brief invisibility. And yes, people are usually able to tell which Nico is the real Nico, but they're never 100% sure, so you always have that little bit of an X factor. So is your client frozen by any chance?
My client did freeze, but just unfroze.
18, 19, that ring a bell?
Yeah, I'm at like 22 right now.
23? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We all had the same wonky pause there. Good. Because
Yeah.
whenever I see those, it means either the client has just crashed or there's a dive in the bot lane. I know that's a really weird transition, and it really did not shape up to much, but
Well, I haven't seen that freeze when there's a dive in the bot lane, and I'm someone who plays a lot of AD carries, but I have seen it on a pause. So I'll have to keep an eye out just in case I get hit with a wonky pause. In the bot lane, Soulbert had a nice set of traps there,
oh.
but they are in a whole lot of trouble. You cannot escape the cataclysm.
So this
Overraid
should
is
be
going
one
to
for
die to the
one.
turret, though. A wild Terry from the top side of the map, dropping the ultimate, getting credit for the kill. As Gangplank all of a sudden has gotten fairly large, and a wild Terry is having a much better game this time around.
That's a huge thing about the Gangplank, because Cannon Barrage is a point and click instant drop global ultimate. Yes, the damage at level 1 is kind of literally just piss all, like, it really just tickles even if you hit the full ultimate. Oh, let me actually just check the numbers here. Damage per wave, 40. Yeah, like,
Nice.
that's really nothing. It's being used for the slow. The chip damage does add over time. And getting that 1-for-1 punishing Overwrite there, who's had some successful ganks in the early game, but these past 2 ganks that Overwrite has gone for here, Yanni, not really working out. Has died both times. Did at least go 1-for-1 in that one, but it has resulted in 3 kills going over to a Wild Terry, who now has the CS lead and kill lead. When they died for first blood.
And it's just been an absolute ridiculous. It's so hard to explain. I can't even quantify it into words. You know, the turret dive up top that went awry, and everything's just going crazy. But this is the hallmark of a Goth Boi Clique game. Lest you forget, last week we talked about it a couple of times earlier on the broadcast. Now you actually get to see it. The early game lead that was built up by the side of Goth Boi Clique has all but evaporated. It's only about 400 gold. Now, was it a large lead? No. But generally, they're the ones that set the tone, and they've been coming back and getting smacked in the mouth more often than not.
Jolingo does have flash, does have ultimate here, does have backup.
It's
Are they
only
out?
a final ninja,
Call
but
in?
that huge double knock up there will prevent anything further. Exhaust had been expended. Jolingo's still hovering around the area as now the entire Goon Squad is here. They smell a Braum, and they have taken down the Frozen Man in preparation for the second dragon of the game. It looks like this one will be secured by Goth Boi Clique, moving around as a unit well.
Or Final Ninja, because they're like, you know what? Yeah. I know they were just in this jungle, but Dragon's kind of coming up, and I kind of have to ward this, so I think going up this close should be fine. This is pretty close in the top lane, too. Oranges.
He took a turret shot. Yoshishi flashing after him. Nothing doing there, though. Jolingo up on the top side does have Rift Herald available.
Ulti, though.
We'll be dropping it from downtown. Ooh, just missed, but Earl King on the backside here has spotted out the Sneeko. It's a 3v2. A Wild Terry is low, but has Cannon Barrage available shortly. Lots of gold in the pocket for them. Yoshishi picking up Jolingo.
Down.
Earl King is taking turret shots, but is going to go through and manage to find a kill onto Hamlet. A Wild Terry dropping that ultimate, getting credit for Yoshishi as well. It was not the cleanest thing ever, but it works out quite well for the side of We Love Soulbert. Kills on the carries.
Yeah, looked like it was going pretty south there at the start there with how fast Jolingo just dropped and the fact that a Wild Terry was at no health, quite literally. But hashtag God's plan does work out in the end. Praise be to his name, even though it's not the day of our Lord. That was yesterday.
Praise Jeebus.
Jeebus.
Yesterday might have been the day of Jeebus, but tonight is the night of the Zed. We haven't talked about him a whole lot, but as a 30 CS lead, has a kill up on this Jinx, and has a shutdown on their head. So we'll see if the side of We Love Soulbert wants to take advantage, or if they find this Lucian is too dangerous to mess with. And you can see the aggressiveness onto Soulbert, I should say, down to about half HP. Looking to turn the fight. They've stunned up Knight of the Zed. Still able to fight here, though, as Neho are getting up in the grill of Final Ninja and Soulbert. Ultimates are traded here. Knight of the Zed is low. Soulbert is stunned up.
That's a stun.
Here comes Jolingo. Neho and Knight of the Zed are low. Soulbert manages to find the kill. Thanks, Hamlet. You helped out a little bit too well there, and ended up costing your teammate their life. And a
I mean-
gank, not a gank per se, but a fight attempt turned around there. And I guess I'm just eating my words here as the bottom lane of We Love Soulbert is just a little bit stronger.
It still is a very close game here. And while we are on the subject of that kill, I do want to make one terrible Shakespeare joke in that Hamlet did kind of end up team killing, canonically speaking, so...
Yeah, you're so right. That's just the Hamlet way. You're cursed.
Like, it's a little forced, but
No,
it kind of makes sense.
no. I see
Because,
what
like,
you're doing
canonically
there.
speaking, Hamlet, like, quite literally just stabbed the dude that was his friend.
Yeah, and you know what? The betrayer, once again, here in this game, life imitates art, as one might say. Wild Harry getting credit for the first turret of the game, 610 gold in the pocket of this gangplank, was 4-2-2, already has a mythic, is up about 30 CS. It's a Wild Harry's world, and everybody else is just living in it right now.
And, you know, with the fact that you have this Triforce complete, you even have the Lucidity boots here for even more CDR. They're trying for this, but the backup is here.
Yeah, Wild Terry trying to survive. He's stuck in the Cataclysm, though, and he will get flagged and dragged back to the base. Big shutdown for Overrate.
Yep. I thought that was kind of setting up a bait for Jalingo to come on in, but Jalingo just way too far to respond there. There's no flash for Wild Terry. So just great pickup here by Goth Boi Clique, recognizing like, hey, this is a free kill. I can push this into a Rift Herald here. Look to crack open a cold one with the boys here just before this dragon, because second Rift Herald, as we all know, much less valuable than the first one. Usually, one of the main uses of the second Rift Herald is you use it as a split push tool, like, hey, dragon's up in 20 seconds, but there's a Rift Herald in mid or top lane, you kind of have to deal with it before it starts cracking on your turrets. And it's like, okay, you're dealing with that. We now have a 5 versus 4 around this dragon. Or you want to fight and then you use the Rift Herald to just break open a turret and further your lead after that. We'll see. It is the earnest on you, though, to make the worth out of the Rift Herald, because it does expire. And if you don't get your worth out of it, well, kind of was a waste of time.
Yeah, there are sometimes better things that you could be doing. The hard part here for Goth Boi Clique is you really can't throw it with a split pusher, as they do decide to throw it in the mid lane. As their split pushing prowess isn't super strong right now, as you have to contend with a Wild Terry if you're going to split push. Rift Herald coming through for the first charge. Will land and take a big chunk out of that mid-outer turret. That one will go down. Give that one over to Goth Boi Clique. Trailing by about 1,500 gold here at the 16-minute mark. The kills are fairly even. Here comes the teleport as Yoshiji looking to help out in this dragon and get a fight going. Hamlet could be in a compromising position. A Wild Terry is on top of them. Do get slowed by the Everfrost. And now, control for We Love Soulbert here as they are looking to start this dragon. Jalingo, the one to start it off, kick things off. Hamlet has flash and the ultimate available. Could be a huge potential fight here. Could really swing the game either way.
They're forcing their way in. That's a good little route.
There's the Nami ultimate.
Gauntlet.
Gonna hit one. It's a good counter ultimate. We see Earl King has been exhausted. Pop Blossom down for Hamlet. It's a big snare.
Soulbert.
Or ultimate. It doesn't do all too much. Earl King gets a kill on the Nahor. Soulbert manages to find Overrate. Soulbert is popping off right now. Gale Force Gamer Soulbert and will manage to survive. The last auto attack on the Nico clone means that Soulbert lives, and it's a 5-for-1 in favor of We Love Soulbert, with Soulbert picking up 2 kills in the fight.
That is something I've never seen. Someone having to auto attack the Nico clone to save themselves. The closest I ever saw was like eons ago, and that'll be a boomerang for later. But let's talk about the fight now, because that was a huge dub here for Soulbert, because they're now at 4K. They're up a dragon. Yes, they aren't looking for that early soul, but that's not the biggest prio right now. You're just looking like, hey, you know what? Let's get some dragons under our belt. It'll complement our scaling, give us an easier bridge into the late game where a lot of our picks will excel. And it also denies a potential Hextech soul for the enemy team.
Yeah, and as we know, Hextech Soul, a fairly strong soul, and you throw it on a Jinx, it could be a problem later on. And
Okay, you're
right
a
now,
Freak LCS fan. Because
Yeah.
Freak was actually ranting about like, oh yeah, it used to be the highest win rate soul, but then they nerfed it and now it's the lowest win rate one.
doesn't matter. It can still be
Yeah, I
strong.
mean,
Everything requires context. And it
yeah.
can still be very strong. And you know
Which is
what?
something Freak just saying does
Yeah.
not get context to. That's why
Yeah.
people were really pissed when he was talking about Rumble Jungle being absolute piss.
hmm And you know, the wave clear for the side of We Love Soulbert is fine. They don't necessarily need it for wave clear options or anything like that. But the poke, you know, Jinx gets extra range on her attacks once she completes the rapid fire cannon. That slow can really do a lot, and it can actually end up kicking off a fight because of We Love Soulbert not having the greatest of engage tools.
Yeah, that was my big thought too here, because the
Sorry.
slow gives you a lot of chase down potential.
Right.
And that's pretty handy when you're having to get on top of a potential slippery Lucian, a Nico that is fairly slippery. You land slows on these champs, it's hard for them to get on top of you. And that's not even the account of potentially slowing Overrate or Yoshishi, because if they go in and are not within range of Soulbert, due to a slow, due to a gangplank barrel, what have you, it's going to be hard for them to close that gap if they do not have their flash. Still, there's a lot of League of Legends to be played. It's not over yet, even with the objective bounties coming in. It's not a game-ending lead, but it's a pretty funky chunky monkey sort of lead right now for We Love Soulbert, and they're feeling fine and dandy here, Yanni.
Yeah, it's going to be hard because this four threat composition of the side of We Love Soulbert, we talked about it so much, how strong they get as the game goes on. Lucian scales much better than he used to in the past, but outside of the Lucian and the Nico, I don't know how much stronger the side of Goth Boi Clique is going to get. And that's going to be problematic because you can see the team play of We Love Soulbert. They constantly group up, and it's so hard to win a fight against a grouped up team when you have the disadvantages that Goth Boi Clique do.
And another huge issue with Lucian is like, because it was an issue for Lucian even back in the past, before the item rework, before the little mini rework, where it comes down to the fact that, yes, you have the potential for super insane late game damage, assuming you play things flawlessly, but the fact is you're a 500 range AD carry that has to dash in if you want to get your maximum damage off, and that is insanely hard to do unless you're like a literal micro-scripting god with a task script and a just kill shot dodging script.
Coolest
It is
Knight of
very
the
hard.
Zed pentakill any percent.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't like any task League of Legends, speedruns, because I get a little banned, but there was a Twitch plays League of Legends.
Yeah, that was always fun, man. It makes me miss Twitch plays Pokemon.
Oh
I
yeah,
remember
that was
watching
like
so
8
much of
years
that
ago.
stream. I mean, no, it really wasn't. It wasn't that long ago, was it?
I think it was 2014.
Yo, shut up! Don't tell me that.
Let me
No.
check it real quick.
No, please don't. You're gonna make my heart hurt. Please.
I mean, I remember it too. Like, holy shit. Oh, sorry, that was
It just reminds me that my birthday was a week ago, and I'm old, and I'm so full of mold, and I'm cold, and I'm, It's...
So it was launched on the 12th of February 2014.
Oh,
which means
my
it is
God.
officially 8 years and like 2-ish months old. Now, let's forget that though, because Dragon's on the board, and we saw how bloody and game opening that was for We Love Soulbert last time. Once again, they have Prio in this pit. Both top laners have their teleports here. There's the ulti. Doesn't find anyone.
Anybody. And we see a teleport coming in. Here we go. Teleport coming in. Wild Terry is here. Comes the knockup. Earl King on the backside. Objective bounty claim. Hamlet trying to split the fight. Nahor on the backside. He's getting ripped apart by Earl King. Going golden too. Knight of the Zed trying to find a kill onto him. But it's a triple kill for the Gangplank. Knight of the Zed, you may have been able to force off the Akali, but you can't force off the rest of We Love Soulbert. The eponymous one. Picking up the final kill in that fight. The Baron has been pinged out. We Love Soulbert is heading that way.
That's the thing with a 4-threat composition, like We Love Soulbert. All 4 threats still up on the board. A pretty damn fed. It's even we even see a Navori Quick Blades here for a while, Terry. Like, that is an item we almost never see outside of Tryndamere, because it's just so costly. The haste is a bit redundant with the passive, and there's just much more slot efficient items. But I believe it lets you charge the barrels faster when you get those crits, and barrels can crit. So if you get an AoE
well, we
crit,
know that.
I believe that counts as 5 procs for Navori Quick Blades.
That's
But don't
actually-
quote me on that though, because it might just be 1 proc. So
you know what? I don't know, and to be honest, at this point, I don't care. This is an 8-kill gangplank. He can do whatever the hell he wants. He wants to build Navori Quick Blades. Go for it. Baron secured by We Love Soulbert, as we all know. There are 3 inner turrets remaining. Still a lot of gold on the map for these guys to push their advantage even further. We have yet to see a pop-off fight out of Earl King. With a little bit more gold in their pocket, I'd imagine that we'll see one quite soon.
I mean, these fights though for We Love Soulbert have been mostly about Soulbert and Wild Terry just doing all the damage here. Wild Terry peppers the front lines with those free breadstick barrels that, much like the free breadsticks at Olive Garden, due to your stomach, doesn't number on your back. You know.
When was the last time you went to Olive Garden?
Year and a half ago.
Where are all these Olive
That's
Garden
for my
jokes
roommate's
coming from?
birthday.
Where are all these? Where are all these coming
Because I have a
from?
friend that works at Olive Garden, and they're posting
Oh.
about it, and they posted it's a very horny Olive Garden-esque shirt, and they're saying they wanted to get it. I can't share the details here.
Did you see a
I
crit?
already
from the
probably
Queens,
went a
by
little
the way?
too far by explaining the origins of Platonic in like as stream-friendly of a manner as I could.
Yeah, and you know what? You did a great explanation there, Professor Gofrino. I was actually quite impressed by that. As much as I am impressed by that, I think I am a little bit more impressed by the game of Wild Terry has had. What a bounce-back game for this much maligned top laner who only played the first series of the season for We Love Soulbert. And now coming in during playoff time, coming in clutch here in Game 2, looking to carry We Love Soulbert across the finish line. I mean, he's not even carrying them, though. Like, he's just a huge reason why this team is doing so well as the siege is still on here. They are having a little bit of trouble getting toward that mid turret, though.
Kind of surprising, too. It's not like there's a lot of just pure wave threat on the enemy team. Overraid's going in.
Tried to trap Soulbert, forced the flash out of a couple of members here. Front line, though, Wild Terry getting a kill. There's one for Earl King. Earl King potentially looking for more. A little low. Ooh, ultimate from the Jinx splits the gap there, but a 2-for-0 for the side of We Love Soulbert does mean that they will have plenty of opportunities to knock down these inhibitor turrets as the mid inhibitor turret falls and the mid inhibitor is next.
Yep, 11k is the goal difference right now. Gonna expand even more with that turret and inhibitor taken. Because that was a little bit of a warranted desperation play there from Goth Boi Clique. Maybe not the most well-coordinated Terry, actually.
Terry's in trouble. Terry is dead. Big shutdown going over to Hamlet. That's 1,000 gold in the pockets of this Nico. And it looks like We Love Soulbert, they're going to look for this Drake potentially. It's going to be up in 40 seconds as we are back into another pause as a couple of people have having a little bit of connection issues here.
Well then, okay. That might explain why the engage looked a little wonky there from Overrate, because they did the flag and drag in, and then it was like a half second or full second before they used the Cataclysm, so...
I think there was a knock-up in between, though. I think that final ninja may have dropped the ultimate. It was very hard to tell, and obviously we don't have the benefit of replays, but I do think the engagement was overall fine, if maybe it was a little slow due to lag or something of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Like,
fine.
I understand the thought process behind that engage. Like,
For sure.
you're already this far behind. Go for the Hail Mary. Try and come back in this game because you're not outscaling. And it's very hard for you to approach this team. So, you know what? Let's just throw all the marbles in the basket. It doesn't work. Okay. We'll try it again next time. See if that works.
Yeah, and you know what? With the flashes down on Soulbert, they might have an opportunity to do so. A little problematic, though, is a Wild Terry's flash is going to come back up soon, and, you know, that is a a very dangerous champion. We are going to cut it to a very short break while we are in this pause time, as production things happen when pauses occur in League of Legends. So do not go anywhere. We will be back very shortly once we can get the broadcast all sorted and once the game resumes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have returned. Sorry for that short delay. A little bit of connection issues on both sides, but everybody is a-okay in the end. We've already seen this, as I'm sure you know, Wild Terry. I have a feeling he's going to die here. Oh my god.
Got a little bit of deja vu.
I mean, it was a well-placed engagement there, and unfortunately for Wild Terry, he was just a little too close to the wall.
It happens,
He
yeah.
has not disconnected, by the way.
We're gonna see some fun disconnect, reconnect, disconnect, reconnect here, because this is from before the pause.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Allegedly.
But you know what's not fine? Goth Boi Clique. They are struggling right now.
And I'm really hoping that both these teams are able to solve their ping issues before the next game, because kind of unfun to have a semifinals decided by ping. But what's going to be a bigger deciding fact? Okay, well, this game's kind of already a little bit decided, but could be a bit of a deciding swing factor is...
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm still not used to exit gates. Over 8.
Well, yeah, they're looking for the engagement while Earl King
Soulbert's
can't
just
get in.
free-firing.
Here we go. Pop Blossom is going to go down. There's a lot of damage going on. It's 2 kills for Goth Boi Clique. But Soulbert is so strong right now. And now Earl King on the backside doing work. Triple kill. Make it a quadra kill for a Wild Terry. From down in the dumps to high on his perch. A tale of 2 top laners between game 1 and game 2. And We Love Soulbert. They are looking to push to end the game. They have the supers.
They got the supers. They got the dupers. They got
a Wild
They
Terry.
got the troopers. They got the troopers.
They got a Wild Terry.
Yeah,
They
that
got
doesn't
Soulbert.
rhyme though with Ooper.
Ah, that's okay. But you know what? Those Whooper. Good Pokemon. No arms. Good boy. But first, Nexus turret will fall. Second Nexus turret as well. Nahor has respawned. Knight of the Zed is here. Good double bubble, but it doesn't matter. The Nexus will fall. And game 2 belongs to We Love Soulbert.
1-1 so far in this best of 5. We definitely got much more League of Legends to play here, and Goth Boi Clique, it kind of felt similar to last game where they were able to get that nice little start, potentially snowball that into a bit of lead, but it went south kind of fast there after their top lane gang failed, after they died in the bot lane around that dragon. And they just weren't able to recuperate the same sort of magic here, especially once the Wild Terry got rolling. I mean, 13-4-8 after you give up first blood and then, I believe, drop again to a repeat gank afterwards. You know, that's a good glow up.
1 second. Hello? Okay. Okay. I'll tell them. All right. I was told that we officially have a series. It is 1-1. I've been told that you have to say that. You are required to say that when a best of 5 is not up at 1. But yes, not to detract from your point, as you said, a Wild Terry, a glow up in this game, dying on the first tower dive attempt, just not in sync with Jalingo, or was able to rebound and perform very well. I mean, on all honesty, the entirety of We Love Soulbert performed fairly well. Jalingo has not played amazingly in these 2 games. He played fine in this game, but I'm expecting a little bit more. And I think that if We Love Soulbert really wants to win the series, Jalingo is going to have to kick it into high gear.
Yeah, especially that first gank.
Questionable.
Yes, in very stream-friendly terms. They're much more strong words that you probably couldn't say on broadcast.
It was interesting with a capital int.
Yeah.
You know what? It's okay. Team bailed him out.
You can't spell dive without die.
One more time?
Yeah, you can't spell dive without die, so.
Yo, honestly, true. But you can't spell Blue Otter League without us taking a break.
Yeah.
Maybe you can. I don't know. But we are going to cut away to a very short break. Do not go anywhere. When we return, we will be into the Game 3 draft between Goth Boi Clique and We Love Soulbert.
Yeah.
hands alone, not tonight. You, me, we're gonna write a little history. You, me, just show me love and then you'll see. Memories that we make, they are never gonna fade for a lifetime. We don't give no shade if you wanna hide away. We just out here trying to play. Second drills up in the memory bank. I've been looking for somebody to make memories in a bank forever in time. There's no reason to be hard to find, 'cause we've already lost our mind. You, me, we're gonna write a little history. You, me, just show me love and then you'll see. Memories that we make, they are never gonna fade for a lifetime. We don't give no shade if you wanna hide away. We just out here trying to play. Second drills up in the memory bank. I run away with you to see some light. When ashes dropping down, we step aside. I run away with you to see some light. When ashes dropping down, we step aside.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have once again returned. We are into the Game 3 draft here between Goth Boi Clique and We Love Soulbert. The teams once again staying on the same sides. We are into the pick and ban. A bit of a difference here in the bans. Goth Boi Clique has determined that a Wild Terry is too wild for them on the Gangplank. They've taken that one away. Aside from that, everything else is the same, and once again, priority being placed on the Viego this series, his third pick. He's won both games. On the other side, We Love Soulbert, they go with Jinx once again, and then a Trundle this time around in the jungle.
Is that gonna be a Kog'Maw?
No, no.
No. Okay, it's the Aphelios.
It's a Philios, but
I've been seeing a lot less Aphelios after the nerfs to that one micro patch. The Gangplank ban though is telling me that Goth Boi Clique probably wanted to try picking the Ornn again, because they do have an affinity for Ornn. They first picked it on blue side both of the previous games. This time around going for the Viego, kind of recognizing We Love Soulbert. Don't really pick the Ornn very early, most likely. So what the pick is, they're gonna be taking away that one from Earl King. So you got Viego, you got Aphelios, you got Victor. That's a hell of a lot of damage here. But you are gonna need some utility to back up these big primo damage carries here, Yanni.
Not only that, you are going to need some time to scale. Trundle can really be a menace in the early game and tough for Viego to handle.
Oh.
Gang potential is there. See if We Love Soulbert's going to try to steal this one away. No, they're going to opt into the Akali once again. It saw some reasonable success in the last game, had a couple of really good fights. Wasn't the we're going to blow you up and assassinate you Akali that you see sometimes, and was more so the I'm going to draw a ton of attention to myself and let my team win the game.
And still have some good backline threat. We saw
For
in some of
sure.
the later fights that Earl King able to take off a member in the backline and use that inbuilt slipperiness that Akali has to at least buy a lot of time, especially when you combine that with the Zonias. We'll see if they're able to repeat this time, because last time around we saw the Nico counterpick in that mid lane. And Hamlet was able to make that work pretty well. Yes, not able to get any solo kills, but did have the harass advantage, was able to bully out Earl King, and not let Earl King do a lot of Akali things that you typically want the Akali to do if you pick Akali, because usually when you pick a champion, you want to do things that the champion is known for.
Right,
Yeah.
and it was a little frustrating because while they did have the lead in the mid lane early on, they had a CS lead, they were doing a lot of poke. They weren't really doing much else outside of the lane, and it just was not the mid and jungle of Goth Boi Clique coming together to make plays on the lanes when available. So this time around, it'll be a much different matchup. I think Victor has a little bit more strength behind the kit than the Nico does. We're into the second half of bans. It's Ornn, it's Morgana, Gone, We Love Soulbert. Clearly seeing that Goth Boi Clique has put a priority on the Ornn, as you and I both touched on. It is gone by the wayside. Wukong, again, the fear of the strong Kong in the top lane is gone. Lulu gone as well.
And that's a decent chip away at a lot of the hard peel supports here, because you're not going to have a Black Shield, you're not going to have the Polymorph, you're not going to have the Chrono Break here. There definitely are other options still, like this Karma we see being hovered, but the support pool being pitched. We Love Soulbert picking their support here, definitely expected, because then you get to save top lane counter pick, which has shown to be kind of crucial this series. And I mean, technically, if you really want to, you can flex that Karma to top lane. Not something we've really been seeing too much this season, aside from a few sparse moments, but it is always something in the back of your head.
Right, and if the team has that sort of flexibility, it's just a boon to them. We saw flexibility come out of Goth Boi Clique in that first game when the sent the Ornn mid lane. So it is, as you go higher and higher in these leagues and get close to the finals, you start seeing why these good teams move on to greatness. And this is a very, very interesting pick. It is Taric going to be the selection here for the side of Goth Boi Clique. That is a champion that is in the back pocket of Nahor and Final Ninja. Nahor will be getting it this time around, and that is going to be big in vulnerability for the rest of the team.
Yeah, although, because usually when we do see the Taric, outside of the really cheesy funnel strats, it's in the context of you have that Cosmic Radiance ultimate, which is quite possibly one of the strongest, if not the strongest, anti-dive / engage tools / burst tools in the game. And that's really great, but I'm looking at We Love Soulbert's composition, and outside of this Akali for Earl King, it's not a very front-loaded sort of composition, and even Akali, not the most front-loaded assassin when it comes to that damage, can play a bit more of that chip-away game like we saw last time around. But it's actually going to be Trundle top lane here. It does make sense into the Scion, and the Taric does still have does still have some pretty nice tools here. The extra buff to the armor you do get can be very handy. And like you said, it is a Nahor special. That is why we're seeing it here. I'm just a little concerned because it doesn't function the best, I feel, into this We Love Soulbert comp.
Right, and I mean, it's going to be okay at times, right? If Akali's not able to blow somebody up, it'll be okay. The Goth Boi Clique composition, it's got some really good strengths and some really glaring weaknesses. Once again, it is a walk at you composition. The engagement coming in from the Scion, which is probably going to be split pushing a lot of the game.
And important thing to note here, one micro interaction that we are going to witness this game. We Love Soulbert does have two champion made terrains here to stop that Scion Unstoppable Onslaught. Probably won't be seeing the Cataclysm used reactively to stop it too many times, but that pillar here from the Trundle that I'm assuming is going to, yep, it is going to Wild Terry in the top lane.
That's
Expect
pretty
to see
wild.
that, because say Overrate wants to set up for a gank in the top lane, if I'm Yoshishi tries to go for that Unstoppable Onslaught, you can just put up the pillar, and then it's only really Overrate getting on top of you. That's going to give Wild Terry a lot of safety when it comes to this lane, and then just a lot of easy access to stopping these fights, because Pillar is an instant cast spell, and it stops the Scion ultimate, which is such a huge thing for when it comes to this matchup that Trundle already enjoys.
Yeah, because not only do they have the tools to be able to handle the Scion, he's able to chase down the Scion with the Frozen Domain, and just has a lot of pure strength in the kit. Hits hard, has regen off the passive, is able to steal AD while doing a bit of damage at the same time. I mean, Trundle has been a fearsome pick around these levels of play for the last couple of weeks. I'm glad he's branching out from more than just the jungle. The compositions here are set, though. I'm not sure if I would have preferred a Trundle or a Jarvan in the jungle here. Goferino, do you think this was the right decision to go with the Jarvan as the last pick?
It definitely caught me off guard because there were other options here. If you wanted to keep the Trundle in the jungle and still counterpick that Sion in the top lane, yes, you don't have the Gangplank as that melee counter we've been seeing much more often. There are other champions, though. The Gwen comes to mind, who can hard scale into a lot of these tanks, does have a lot of innate safety, but a Trundle will get the job done as well, and it does still have some pretty nice split push threat. Something that we saw Wild Terry kind of go for a lot of in the first game, just due to how far behind they fell, and kind of a little bit in the second game, but second game was more of like, okay, I kind of have half our team's kills. I probably should be showing up to these fights no matter what, because I can kind of dictate how they go, and dictate how they go, it did.
Yeah, and Goth Boi Clique, they now need to recognize that a Wild Terry is just going to be the split push first kind of mentality. They do need to play around that and have something match it. Sion is a champion that can do so, but again, we mentioned could have a lot of trouble into this Trundle, and we will have to see how that shapes out. We are in the spectator delay for the third time tonight of hopefully 5 times, but we'll see what happens as the series progresses. Yanni and Goferino will be back very shortly, and then we'll be on the Rift for Game 3.
Cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains, I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things, gonna make a f***ing name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain, I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste me, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. Okay, I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. And no, I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent. And it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots. If I miss all, forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. That energy is like a poison, needs some antiseptic. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste me, you can try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fight me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running.
Alrighty, everybody, we have made it here for Game 3 between We Love Soulbert and Goth Boi Clique. Yanni and Gofarino still bringing you all the action. Even bringing you a little bit of the action from the second series that's going on right now. So Lotus leads CB Diamond 2-0 right now. And they've selected Zareth Nasus, if I heard that right.
Yeah, so the current team comps are, since we have a lull in this level 1, CB Diamond, who are down match point and have to pull off a reverse sweep if they want to win. They have Shinzao, B1, then 2 and 3 is the MF Alistar bot lane, and then they round it off with Ari and Mundo. Sure. Some kind of interesting picks. We've been seeing the MF come back a little bit, but that's for the other series to talk about. The Nasus, though, is very interesting, and that's going into the Mundo in the top lane.
That is pretty spicy.
So yeah.
All right.
You should have watched the VODs, you know.
Yeah, be sure to watch those VODs, yeah. All right.
We got another game, though, so.
Goth Boi Clique, it happened again. They had a strong early game, very aggressive, and were unable to hold on to the leads that they were able to accrue, although as small as they were. The punch first, then get punched back, and they get punched again, and they get punched again, style of Goth Boi Clique, reigning true here tonight so far. Can they change their fortunes? It feels like it happens every time to them.
The Goth Boys giveth and the Goth Boys taketh. So that's been how it's kind of felt this series so far. This game has yet to show. Aaron's gonna mostly be on Jalingo in the early game as this Jarvan, especially with the first strike rune. I know there's that one jungler in the LEC, whom I am forgetting right now, that loves going at just for the early gold lead and extra damage in ganks.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
but if you're going the much tankier Jarvan build, it really does not do a lot for you late game. It's just more so for accelerating the early game, so you might have like an item spike when it comes to a dragon. This is where it does come in handy.
Flash there. Earl King able to get out. Hamlet still continuing the assault of the poke. Jalingo in the area is now walking away as Overrated is just going to help his mid laner.
Bit of a roundabout though.
Oh, is he going to come back around? Oh, he should. It's a prime opportunity, but the junglers will split for the scuttles here.
Even with all the nerfs to the crab value, all it took was that one patch where the first crab was just so stupidly valuable. People were literally in for it. To this day, we still see junglers prioing crab over what could be a free gank. Still pretty damn handy. A little bit of juice in the tank. And yeah, despite all that action in the mid lane, for the first time this series, a first gank does not result in a kill.
Wow, you're absolutely right. That is actually crazy to think about. What if these teams are playing a more cerebral, measured game compared to the game that they played just a few moments ago? Hamlet and Earl King still duking it out. Hamlet has shown that they are able to hold their own against the Earl of the mid lane. And it's going to be on Earl King to try and make sure that this victor gets set very far behind. And they do have their work cut out for them. It's based on the range difference.
Yeah, that's the hard part about Tarek. Since you are that Warden support, but it's not like Braum where you can do the flash ultimate as some form of engage. Your engage is very, very telegraphed with that dazzling radiance, the E. Wait, let me verify that. It's just the dazzle, okay. With the dazzle, and the fact that you have to walk up against a Karma that can use that mantra shield, that Jinx who can just put down the flame chompers, it does make it much harder to try and aggress in this lane. There's going to be a much more passive lane here on the bot. Or...
not in the mid lane, though.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of expected for this series.
Yeah. I mean, they're just duking it out back and forth. And, you know, again, it's a lot of what makes We Love Soulbert successful. They don't get overly aggressive in the top side and in the bottom side.
Okay,
Typically,
the first gank of last game has something else to say about that.
listen, you didn't let me finish. Typically, that being said, a Wild Terry is very different than Benonia, right? And it's a huge difference in playstyle. But what remains the same is the bot lane of We Love Soulbert. They're very reserved. They like to just chill out and keep the game even keel. But when that happens, it does mean that you give certain things up like a dragon. Wild Terry and Yoshishi duking it out. Oh, it was the flag. Who needs the drag? Get a kill for yourself. Jalingo assist over to a Wild Terry. Jalingo able to walk it out. First blood once again in this top lane.
Had that not gotten the kill there, that would have been Giga Pega, though.
It was the first
I
time.
believe the drag part did land. It just didn't land close enough to the flag. I'm not entirely sure, though.
I'm gonna believe that it was the
planned up. It works out in the end.
Yeah, it was still awesome regardless. And again, more trading back and forth of these mid laners just slugging it out in the mid lane. The top laners doing the same. Wild Terry hitting level 6, does have a slight level advantage. You can see just wants to continuously abuse it. Sheen in the inventory. And both top laners did go into the call, so all this fighting, very little farming.
Yeah. Just, you know, you bop a few heads against each other in
Look
these
at
lanes.
Taking a bite out of crimes. Scruff McGruff up there.
Scruffy McGruffy.
Yeah, not the guy.
Scruffy was the janitor from Futurama. That's what it was. I was about to say Simpsons.
Oh, right. You know, I haven't watched a whole lot of Futurama. I got to be honest.
It's pretty good.
Fun
It's pretty
show,
good.
good show. Just not a show that I would always watch. I don't know why, and I get so much hate for it. I get so much flack for it. It's
I mean, that's fine.
actually disgusting.
It's not for everyone. I mean, it was pretty general a show aimed at like a wide-ish demographic.
This is
But,
true.
you know, like,
Here we go. Overrate was waiting in the wings.
yeah.
And well executed gank. The patience paying off there. It's going to be Viego picking up a kill. So the map looking pretty even, aside from a couple of CS numbers, but the kill numbers, it's like looking in a mirror, man.
And we saw that Jalinga was trying to set up for a gank of their own there. Overrate, though, just a little quicker to the draw there. And it does help when you have that point blank unstoppable onslaught, because even though you do have that point and click pillar to stop that, if it's channeled right in your face, you can't really drop that pillar in time.
Yeah, and then you have to know that, like, hey, something's coming, this might be a problem, and then use it preemptively, which is almost never going to happen. So it was very difficult for Terry to do anything, but Overrate is caught here, is going to be able to use the Heartbreaker to get away. Earl King flashing, forcing the flash out of Overrate, and the Rift Herald will be started up by the side of We Love Soulbert.
It's going to be yoinking that on away here from the Goth Boi Clique, who... yeah, let's start this on up. We got that free kill on the top side. We can transition into this. And We Love Soulbert, like... We
Not
gotta remember that game number 1 where we just had to give over every early objective. We're not going to be doing that this time around. I mean, they did have to give up that first dragon because Prio in the bot lane and some in the mid lane. Let them get that.
I mean,
They definitely got this Rift Herald. Wall plays are still on the board.
they're not the most objective-focused team when it comes to Dragons, Barons, and Heralds. They really are close to the bottom of the entire league, including teams that have already been eliminated, than like the middle of the pack. But doing an okay job there, making sure they secure the Heralds. However, Goth Boi Clique looking to secure a kill, are only able to get a flash.
Yep. You know, there's always fighting on the Rift here between these two teams, as expected. Earl King.
Oh, he's going for it!
Enough.
Very low as Hamlet. Does
think
have
the
Ghost
flash.
available. Earl King also low, and in the top lane, Yoshishi unable to get a kill onto a Wild Terry.
Uh-oh.
Earl King has been spotted out by the sweeping lens, trying to
Should be
put some
fine.
distance, and will manage to survive.
Just delaying the recall, but Overrate not having the flash there meant one sure can flip back was more than enough for Earl King. gonna delay the back, which does kind of suck when we're talking about Infernal Dragon up in just under 30 seconds here. Because you'd like all the prio you can. That was a somewhat pretty early dragon taken. Actually, no, that was a pretty damn early dragon taken by the Goth Boi Clique.
Oh,
So
yeah. That's just what they do. They are on top of the dragons consistently. The team knows what they like to do and knows what plays that they are strong at because they've excelled at taking dragons this entire series. And listen, you play to your strengths, and good teams do that. And I don't think it's far-fetched to say that both of these teams are good teams. That's why they're here in the semifinal.
no.
Water's wet, sky's blue.
Test.
Uh-oh, Jolingo could be in some trouble here. Unstoppable Onslaught. Final Ninja.
That's just them off, though.
Yeah, like you talked about, Yoshishi forcing away the bottom lane of We Love Soulbert, which means the dragon is free real estate. Second dragon secured here for Goth Boi Clique.
We Love Soulbert. We're the first ones on top there, but not having prio on the mid lane, only having 3 people when 5 people are barreling down at you. Yeah. You kind of just gotta bail from that one, buddy.
Yeah, the numbers game just comes up and is way too strong. Wild Terry is going to get a lot of time on that top lane turret. 3 plates secured for the Trundle. Rift Herald is still available as well, so if they want, Jolingo can go up there and knock down that top turret. We see some pings mid lane. Unable to knock up Hamlet, though.
Only 1-to-1 in kills here.
Yeah, slow game.
Like yeah, it definitely feels like there should be more.
Uh-oh.
Some of the
He
action
might have just sped up a little bit.
Oh.
Final Ninja with the shield and will fall. Moonlight Visual from downtown. Knight of the Zed picking up kill number 1. You caster cursed it.
Mm-hmm.
It always happens.
Yeah,
How does that always happen?
I don't know.
I've always wondered.
I wasn't entirely sure that would also finish off because it kind of looked like Final Ninja was out, and I thought Knight of the Zed had used their mark already, but having another mark is gonna secure them this second turret plate as well with that kill, so that's a pretty decent lead here in the bot lane. We Love Soulbert though. Response is we're piling down in this top lane. 3 versus 3. We got a Rift Herald, we got a Dream, and we got some minions here to work with.
Oh, Rift Herald falls! They're not able to secure any turret platings, and now here comes a potential fight. Overrate trying to get in. He's going to try to land the stun out, and it's almost going to hit Earl King. A wasted opportunity for the side of We Love Soulbert. They tried to force the Rift Herald and was unable to go down. That's rough stuff. You cannot afford to lose out on that objective. So much gold left on the map.
Yeah, because that was their big first objective here. And turret plates are still available. That's a 2-plate turret in the top lane. That Rift Herald lands, that's first turret. That is not what happens, though.
Yeah, it would have been so many platings for the 3 members in the top side, but a great defense by the Goths. They really dug their heels into the dirt there, making sure everything was a-okay. Yoshishi getting chased down, but once again, it's over right here. A flash by a Wild Terry means the Heartbreaker misses. Jolingo flashing forward, trying to get closer, but is now going to turn around onto Overrate. Trying to get some auto attacks in. Overrate's going to flash over the wall. Jolingo potentially looking to go back in. He is, and it's a great flash too. What a flash! We'll go 1 for 1. Hamlet and Nahor are up here, and they're going to find a kill onto the Trundle. Now Earl King is trying to run away. Hamlet is so fast, has that ghost popped, has stunned Earl King. Earl King under the turret. He just needs to dodge the death ray, but he can't. Whoa. Hamlet coming up huge in that fight. 2 kills for the victor. And all of a sudden, it looks like Goth Boi Clique has finally found their footing.
And beautiful bait there by Goth Boi Clique, recognizing, hey, this fight's gone long enough. We have Hamlet shimmying on up here towards the top lane to help us with this fight. We Love Soulbert kind of had to blow almost everything there in the initial phase of that fight, not able to finish off any kills, then had to blow what little they had left to get that 1 kill, but giving up 3 in return, giving up first turret in return. That's a pretty decent gold swing here for JBC, and they can use this to really hammer home when the next dragon comes up in a minute here. Because they're already sitting on 2 and looking pretty for an early soul if they get this next one.
Yeah, Ocean Soul is the soul that is on the Rift right now, so that's going to help immensely. I mean, Ocean Soul, very, very strong, as everybody knows. The regen in fights, out of fights, is just so much. And sure, you can buy all the heal cut you want, but it just means that the effect is lessened, but not totally gone.
Yeah, and the fact that you have to get heal reduction, even against this team that, yes, you might want some heal reduction against already because there's a Viego and an Aphelios. You're gonna end up itemizing a lot more, and most healing reduction items in League tend to not have the best damage stat lines because you get pseudo damage in the healing reduction. Earl King getting frisky, getting risky, but not going in for the risky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Urkin needs to try to find some kills really soon. Nothing on the board so far, and it's really not what you want to see out of your Akali. Here's the Ocean Soul. It's a 4v4 here, but Aphelios, red-white guns. You know what that means. Everybody knows what that means. Does mean that could be a fight brewing in the top side. We see a Wild Terry trying to impose their will onto the Scion. It looks like a little bit of hesitation here from Goth Boi Clique, but that's because they get to drop the Rift Herald. This means this bottom lane turret is going to be pretty free for them. The ward's being cleared out, though. Oh, never mind. I thought it was going to get cleared out, but that one will still stand.
The longer this takes, the more value you get out of that Rift Herald, because no one's going to answer it right now, Yanni.
Somebody needs to push that
Over,
wave
getting
in.
onto the dragon. There's a stun in the pit. It's a smite fight.
Akali zoned off. Akali gets stunned. Hamlet's in the middle of 4 members, though. Here comes the
They're just
teleport
finishing the dragon.
from the Scion. Dragon going down. Dragon secured by Overrate. And now the Goth Boi Clique are coming strong. Big double knockup out of Yoshishi. Getting a kill. Giving one over to the jungler as well. The Trundle can only sit and watch as the rest of the team falls. Turret in the bottom lane was taken, and the mid lane now is going to go down next. Goth Boi Clique take a huge fight here in the mid game. They secure themselves Dragon Soul Point.
And that is the existential threat that second herald poses when you're talking about the dragon here, Yanni, because it forces We Love Soulbert to just initiate onto that dragon. They're not able to do it fast enough. And Jolingo going out of the pit to try and survive, to try and start off the fight, but that just gives over to free dragon. You're eating up all that free damage. Their top lane teleports before yours, and Goth Boi Clique just kind of played We Love Soulbert a bit like a fiddle there in that fight.
Yeah, and all of the control that We Love Soulbert had was just ripped away from them. Earl King got forced away in the fight, and realistically speaking, Goth Boi Clique said, square up. And on the other side, We Love Soulbert was like, we don't really want this as bad as I think we thought we did. And then they just fall apart from there, and now the gold lead, it's one of the bigger gold leads of the series in a game this early on. It's hovering at about 5k right now, and, you know, game 1, We Love Soulbert was able to be down on objectives and play a nice controlled game and still keep it close, but right now, it seems like it's all Goth Boi Clique right now.
Yeah. Feeling similar to the first game here, where Goth Boi Clique in control of the destiny of this game unfolding in front of us right now. Not as hard of a snowball for a single lane here, but much more spread out this time because you got 3 kills on your Victor, 2 kills on your Viego, 2 kills on a Scion, and 2 kills on Aphelios. That is spreading the love if I ever seen it here. Much like the pacifist movement. Oh wait, no, it was the 70s. That was the hippies movement. No, it was the 60s.
We did talk about that in one of the earlier games as well. I think it was when it was Terry had gotten so large on Gangplank. You'd like to have multiple threats on your team, multiple people being strong, and that is what we see here. Trap being potentially laid out here. Final Ninja and Jolingo.
He is in flag and drag range.
They may be getting
There's
desperate.
no flash on Night of the Zed either.
And Knight of the Zed playing toward the side where Overrate is. Very wise move. Such a minute.
Though.
Yeah, it looks like they're just waiting it out here. Nothing that can really be done. Hamlet here in the bot lane against the Wild Terry. Wild Terry doesn't quite have a hull breaker yet. They're looking for more. Knight of the Zed was able to find a way out using that Gale Force just before the Cataclysm came down. Really well-placed Gale Force. You see him twirling around a little bit. He's just showing off at this point.
Yeah, really unfortunate there. Because We Love Soulbert committing so much time there, and they're gonna pay for it.
Yeah, Overray here pushing forward. It's a 3v1 right now. Jinx traps are down. They're going to get the root. Is Duolingo going to go back in? He is. Moonlight Vigil lands.
No
But Duolingo
Cataclysm.
got pinched by Hamlet there.
You just
And
made a
now
new team.
Soulbert and Final Ninja are just burned away by the flamethrower. A Wild Terry on the side against Overray. It's a double kill for Overray. And Earl King, the only one left, desperately trying to run away. But they know that they do not care about the Sakali. They are looking for something more. You see the pings coming down on the Baron.
Makes sense. You get this 4 for nothing in such a dominating fashion because a lot of cooldowns were used by We Love Soulbert, and then We Love Soulbert accidentally kind of baiting themselves back into that one. Almost kind of able to burst Overray, but there's no gas left in the tank. They did not commit the Super Mega Death Rocket there. It was just all ogre from there. I mean, Goth Boi Clique, they have to try to lose this game at this point. They got Baron, they got Soul Point being threatened, and they're going to be able to threaten it even harder. With this 9k gold lead, and the fact that Dragon is going to spawn here in 40 seconds, right after they all back, use their purchases, and just kind of Scrooge McDuck with how wealthy they are.
Yeah, they are looking to pull out their wallets and smack the daylights out of We Love Soulbert. I think the most disappointing thing in that last fight was Knight of the Zed just doing so much damage, and now
Yeah, that's a good jump.
Engagement. They're trying to make something happen, but Duolingo is dead. Earl King onto the side will trade 1 for 1, but I don't think it's going to matter. Soulbert in a lot of trouble. Soulbert has fallen 4v2. A Wild Terry trying to run away, and he does. Final Ninja, can they get away? Hamlet in hot pursuit. Ghosting up, flashing forward, landing the final Q auto, getting the kill, and it looks like they're setting their sights on the mid lane here. I don't think they care too much for this dragon right now. They want to get some more objectives and some more map control.
I mean, they can have their cake and eat it too at this point. They're so far ahead. Like, you're having your full tank. Okay, it's kind of full tank Scion with the breaker here. Just getting you that soul casually while you're taking their inhibitor here. 22.5 minutes in. Kind of return to their game 1 form here for the Goth Boi Clique.
Yeah, even better. Even better, I'd say. This has been a near flawless game out of Goth Boi Clique. I have to say, I'm very impressed with the way they played. They've made very few mistakes overall in this game.
And now they have the Ocean Soul. And the team that's behind and already struggling with damage is going to have to hamper their damage even more by picking up some grievous wounds as a detour here on multiple members.
Yeah. I mean, we can see that Karma already has it, and Karma can certainly make her impact known in a fight by landing a good Q and getting the grievous wounds on multiple members.
Future Fire, though.
Yeah, but I mean, you can even see that the damage differential in these fights is way too wide right now. So even if you get that grievous wounds down, I think that Goth Boi Clique might still out-heal the lack of damage on the side of We Love Soulbert.
And that's kind of the catch-22 of this Ocean Soul, because you already don't really do enough damage, and they're going to be healing off the damage that you do to them. But if you get the grievous wounds, you're kind of exacerbating your issue with the lack of damage even further. And you're still not fully taking down that heal, so, rough spot to be in. Kind of a game-ending spot, honestly. It's just up to Goth Boi Clique to finish this one on out at this point, I feel.
Yeah, and because this Baron is available for Goth Boi Clique that they are utilizing right now, this does mean that We Love Soulbert does not get the opportunity to try to slow the pace of the game down and allow their top, mid, and bot lane to scale. You are no longer afforded that opportunity because of the mistakes made earlier in the game. The Baron has expired now, but the bottom inhibitor turret may also expire very soon, down to about half HP. The top laner is still duking it out up top. And just, you see that healing kick in. You can just take a look. I mean, within a couple of seconds, everybody's A-okay.
Yeah, because even when you don't have minions or champions to regen off of, you have the natural sustain just from having 2 of these Ocean Dragons, because they're each 2.5% of your missing health every 5. So 5% of your missing health every 5 seconds means you're gonna eat up poke pretty decently well. And just recover on back from that. We Love Soulbert going for the Hail Mary here.
Yep, they've caught Knight of the Zed. They're trying to give him invulnerability, and everybody has invulnerability. You can't assassinate anybody, Earl King. You don't have the damage, and they don't take any damage. Soulbert trying to deal damage, but they're just so tanky, and they just
Teleport.
feel so much. And look at
It's
all
in
the
the
damage.
base,
Soulbert is
baby.
going to die, I think. No. Soulbert survives. Earl King on the side. Jalingo had falling, going back in as Earl King, but Earl King falls. Now we see Overrate going from Jarvan to Jinx, getting a triple kill for themselves, perhaps. No. Final Ninja survives. The Zonias is out. The healing is there, but it's a shutdown for the Karma. And maybe that is something that you can take into Game 4, because there's not much else you could take into Game 4. The only one taking Game 3 here is going to be Goth Boi Clique. And they are up in this series 2-1. They're going to take series point into Game 4.
Yep. Series point. Backs are against the wall here for We Love Soulbert. It is do or die because you don't have any more rain checks in this series if you do want to take it on home. Goth Boi Clique, though, returning to their Game 1 form here and making Game 2 look like a bit of a fluke on their part. A bit of a throw on their part, so to speak. And a return to form.
Absolutely, and you know what? Goth Boi Clique, they've continuously impressed me throughout the season as it went on, in last round's playoffs, and this round as well. The number 5 seed, certainly deserving to be higher, and they were sniffing around that top 4 spot, didn't get it. And you know what? I think that playing last week built their confidence even greater, and they're taking it into this series. You can just see they are confident with their plays. Overrate is now on the same page with the rest of Goth Boi Clique compared to last week. And this team, as they continue to gel, as their jungler continues to fit into their team, they're only going to get scarier. They're getting more and more Goth.
Yep, it was the Goths that took down Rome, I believe. The first time. There's a few times Rome's did fall. Let's see if they're able to take down We Love Soulbert this time around, because We Love Soulbert is the number 1 seed. Technically, by technicality, a lot of people will debate that first place.
Tiebreakers.
Yeah,
Tiebreakers
tiebreaker,
matter.
yada yada yada.
It just really shows how even the league is up at top.
And we're gonna see just how even this league is in the next game. See if we're going to Game 5, or if Goth Boi Clique able to just close this one on out and prove that Game 2 was a bit of a fluke on their part.
Smoke is scanning through the sky. You can't believe your senses. You think you've seen it all until you open your eyes. I never wanna be alone. This place is cursed. I want you to never leave my side. I run away with you to see some light. When ashes dropping down, we step aside. We dream of feeling something. I want you. I know we both escape to lose the ground. The world we used to know is burning down. We're always strong enough to build our own. We've been running for ages to search some light. I want you. I know we both escape to lose the ground. We've been running for ages to search some light. We can feel it we're there after running for nights. to see some light. When ashes dropping down to build our world.
All right, everybody, we are back. We are in the draft for Game 4. It could be the final game of the series as Goth Boi Clique continue on here and want to keep the Cinderella run going here. Go Farino. That last game made me a huge believer of Goth Boi Clique, and I don't know if the power of friendship will be strong enough to dethrone the Doc Martens.
Yeah, I feel like you've been a fan of whoever just happens to be proving you wrong.
Yes.
'Cause
because
last
I
week
love
you're like,
being
you know
proven
what? They kind of proved me wrong. This week, you know what? They kind of proved me wrong. It's like, maybe we shouldn't be going to Yanni for predictions
Well, for what
here
it's
at
worth,
the start of the
for what it's
season.
worth,
I think that's the big takeaway. But another big takeaway is the fact that Volibear finally gets through this.
Stop
group.
it! Stop! I gotta defend
Instantly
myself.
after.
I gotta defend myself. Did you see the beginning of the stream when Pop Tart put the power rankings up? I had Goth Boi Clique ahead of We Love Soulbert.
Yeah.
I knew. Okay, but you have much more. You have much more substance here. You mentioned the Volibear now available gank in a can.
So this is a huge swap up. The
Whoa.
instant replied Lilia into the Volibear.
Whoa.
We have been seeing more Lilia experimentation. A lot of the issues with Lilia, though, is that she's just way too damn squishy.
Mhm.
And you usually kind of want a bit tankier of a jungler, or at least one that can get much more into the faces. Lilia, not very easily able to do that unless you rush the Zonias, which is a viable option. It's going to be paired with the Victor 2 that we did see from Earl King in game number 1 here. Has been banned since. The response to the Corgi that might just be the
Oh,
damn
the
Corgi
end
that we've kind of... Okay, it's going to be the
It
Ari.
could even be a boat.
So far, though, pretty much all new picks so far, aside from the Victor, so gonna be having to throw a lot of our preconceptions here out of the window, potentially, with how things are shaping up. Maybe Caster Curse does kick in, though, and the rest of the draft is completely the same, or maybe it's the Caster Curse, and my original guess was correct, but I jinxed it because I mentioned the Caster Curse.
How could you jinx it if there's no jinx in this game yet? As we saw, Soulbert hovered it, elected not to take it. Goth Boi Clique there, drafting a very strong standard meta composition. Varus is not an AD carry that you expect to see a ton of, but I mean, after the last game's performance out of the Goth Boi Clique AD carry, I don't know. I think it would have allowed Knight of the Zed to kind of show off once again, but gonna pick the Varus here, provide very good CC. And on the other side, Soulbert gonna do the same. So these AD carries bringing a lot of poke and a lot of CC to the table should work well for their team compositions. Lord knows that We Love Soulbert needs that CC.
I'm expecting, or at least I'm hoping, both these AAKs take cleanse in this matchup. It's pretty common, especially against the Ashe, and fairly common against the Varus. And you don't want to be caught by those big ultimates.
Feels terrible.
Yeah, we could have seen the Jinx as a reply here, but it likely would have been a lethality Varus paired with the support that can really pressure you, and that just kind of gutter dumpster the Jinx in the early game. The Ashe at least gives you that ulti, That and also the hawk shot will be very valuable. We know how much of a determining force the junglers can be in this game, in these games. And just having that hawk shot level 2 is usually when you grab it, unless you're really worried about early game aggression. Use that to scout the jungler's path to know where they are. But the question is, what are you going to pair with it? Because we're seeing mostly top lane bans come here through so far, aside from that Taric.
And you know what? I must commend We Love Soulbert's draft here, at least in the ban section. They got rid of the Viego, the champion that has gone undefeated this entire series. They did not go with the Jinx, which I didn't think was working too well for them. They get rid of the Taric, that was a bit of a terror last game. And then the Ornn, once again, that Goth Boi Clique absolutely loves selecting. So I think they've learned from a lot of their previous mistakes. On the other side, Goth Boi Clique, they're making sure that a Wild Terry does not have that much fun. There are many top laners, all champions that you could consider top laners, are gone trying to force him on something uncomfortable. We Love Soulbert will once again give him the counter pick in the top lane by picking the Nautilus here. Unless it happens to be a Lilia top lane, that would be spicy.
That was something on release here. The Nautilus is kind of showing like, hey, we really want you to have a flexible pick in this top lane. We're willing to not have the best bot lane combo for this because the Ashe does not really pair well with the Nautilus in the early game. Ashe just does kind of piss all when it comes to these early all-ins. You have to stack up the Ranger's focus, so all you really got is like some long-range autos in that volley. I was going into the Morgana as well. Thankfully, with how much CC this We Love Soulbert bot lane has, you can just throw your CC at both targets in this bot lane, and there's only one black shield between the both of them. And it's probably just going to be Soulbert playing a little bit more on the down low this game, just sitting under turret and throwing out volleys, while we see Final go for some roams here potentially. We saw this Fiora hover last time around, but did not see it come through.
It's you're on death's door right now as a team. Give your team the injection that they need.
All right, that's
Fiora is locked in,
and that's why we saw the Nautilus.
and
Because
you know
kind
what?
of need a damn front line.
And you know what? The Riposte is going to get so much value in this game. Morgana Binding, Varus Ultimate, Ari Charm. So much value. If you can predict the Volibear stun, the value is absolutely immense that this Fiora can get. And a Wild Terry, this does mean that they have told the team, guys, I am going to try to hard carry this game. With the squishiness on the rest of We Love Soulbert, as you touched upon, it's sketchy. If it doesn't go well, this game could get ugly early.
Because the thing is, you're facing Volibear jungle with a Psy on top here, and you have one riposte. Fiora does scale into that absolute menace, but is so vulnerable early on. Your lunge does not really go a very far distance. You kind of have to flash a lot of things in the early game. And the riposte is still pretty telegraphed, and you can only riposte 1 CC. Assuming Yoshishi and Overrate are on the same page, you channel 1 CC to bait out the riposte, and then you use another CC to go through the riposte after it's expired. But it does feed into kind of a Wild Terry's playstyle. They have been going heavily towards the split push game here in the past 3 games. Aside from the Gangplank game, where it was a case of they kind of got fed on Gangplank can't teamfight very well, but Fiora is the split push champion here, and is going against a fat meathead in the top lane. I expect a Hullbreaker rush here. I expect a Hullbreaker rush here, Yanni, but I also expect a lot of focus in the top lane from Overrate.
For sure, and that does mean that Jalingo needs to go up there as well to make sure this Fiora can get online. Victor is a champion that can sort of stand on his own, regardless of what the enemy team is throwing at him. He's just going to get strong anyway, and Ashe isn't really going to take over a game, so anticipate that a lot of the focus will be up on the top lane here. I have a question for you, because it just had a thought in my head when you were talking about the layering of the CC. If you were on low ping environment, can you theoretically walk in with the Volibear stun, bake out the, like, is there a frame where between the stun, the riposte, and then Volibear can ultimate and unstoppable the riposte? I don't think so, right?
Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either.
I don't
I just thought it was a fun thought experiment. Wasn't sure if you knew or not. Wasn't expecting you to know or not because
Yeah, I don't know
that
enough
seems-
about Fiora riposte.
yeah, that
I
seems
really
like
can't.
super like we're really in the weeds of this game.
Yeah. Aside from the fact it lowers attack speed, because I know
Right,
that
right.
because it tilts so many top players, and then I get hit by it as an indie character. I'm like, yeah, why the hell does this ability slow your attack speed? It makes no sense.
It's so
Like, not even if it
dumb.
CCs you. Like, if Fiora just hits you with a riposte and it slows you your attack
Vital
speed
too,
too.
doesn't it?
Hmm?
Procs a vital too, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
if you're using it a Private Vital, you're either winning really hard or losing
Yeah.
really hard.
and it does make sense thematically in her kit. That being said, enough of the Fiora talk. We want to see the Fiora action. We are in spectator delay, possibly for the last game of tonight. Goth Boi Clique looking to take themselves to the finals. We Love Soulbert looking to force a game 5. Ladies and gentlemen, this may be the last series we have for you tonight, or the last game of the series, I should say. It is Goth Boi Clique. It is We Love Soulbert. These teams are still once again on the same sides. They've elected not to move out of strategy or even potentially pure laziness. As it looks like Goth Boi Clique, they are looking to do something here with this level 1. But We Love Soulbert is just not in the area. They don't want none.
Yeah, Soulbert actually walking up to drop the volley in that brush. Level 1. Soulbert might be in danger here. I believe Soulbert saw that.
I don't think he did. He didn't
Actually,
ping them
no.
out.
They don't see that
Somebody
binding
saw
either.
that binding. No, nobody did. Final
Final
Ninja,
Ninja
no.
did.
Final Ninja's here. Final Ninja
Oh,
has to
wait,
flash.
wait.
Everything's okay.
Is it, though? There's still 5
Maybe.
people here. This should be a buff take.
Yeah, there's a 5v4, and now it's a 4v4. Is Yoshishi
Oh, wait.
backed away. Hook landed. Final Ninja, though, getting rooted up, taking a lot of damage. Is low, is burning from the United's first blood, going over to Knight of the Zed. Nahor has to run, has to flash the heal
the
out.
slows do be
Soulbert,
adding
hot
up,
pursuit,
though.
finding out. However, Soulbert is on the backside of the fight. The team heading back toward him to protect them. We love Soulbert, as we all know. Chasing down Hamlet. Earl King had ghosted, but it looks like that is it for the action. Jalingo, though, sees the health advantage, I should say, and is looking to irritate Overraid a little bit more.
Jalinga has to be careful.
I don't think so. I think Earl King is here to help him out. The smite is going to go to Jalingo. Hamlet getting traded on as well. Things not going well. Nahor is here. Binding dodge. The auto attacks could help. Earl King taking a full Foxfire. But I think that's it for now. What a crazy level 1.
Yeah, First Blood does go over to the Goth Boi Clique, which is very important. But you could make the argument that We Love Soulbert did benefit more from that, with the fact that Overrate is put very far behind in this jungle.
Right.
The fact that it meant that a Wild Terry just kind of has free access to this top wave level 1. So able to get some free farm, hit that level 2 first. And the fact that, Overrate does not have the flash here, is behind in the jungle. It really just diminishes the threat window for this big old bear. Because you're going to be slower to your earliest possible gank. You're going to be weaker at your earliest possible gank. And every bit of time that Fiora has to just free farm up, to free scale on up, is a very scary prospect here, Yanni.
Absolutely right. And we saw in the mid lane, Hamlet had to come over and assist a little bit, which meant Earl King was able to poke them out quite a bit. They got the backs off here. Earl King is going to be able to soak up that huge wave. You mentioned something about summoners before we got into the game. You were expecting the cleanse out of both of the AD carries, but only one of them has the cleanse available. It's Soulbert, Knight of the Zed, taking heal. Hamlet opting in to a cleanse in the mid lane. That is fairly interesting. And we saw Jalingo just a moment ago trying to continuously get aggressive and cause problems for Overrate, and they're fighting over the crab right now.
I mean, Jalingo's isn't going in.
Yeah. Flash by Hamlet. Jalingo is low. Jalingo does not have summoners available. Earl King trying to force them away. Hamlet wants the turret die. Force the Q. Does not land. Hamlet can't close out a kill.
Oh. So damn close. But with how much was blown in that level 1, there's no real flashes to commit on that. And the fact that, like you said, Hamlet taking the cleanse here, which is interesting, means they don't have the somewhat more typical ignite that we'd see if it's not the teleport. So this results in everybody skimming on away there. Jalingo really fighting hard over these camps, interestingly enough. Yes, the Raptors was kind of expected with the health advantage level 1, but we also saw Jalingo just fighting over the blue buff there, fighting over the first scuttle spawn there. This is a bloodthirsty deer.
Yeah, he's got that zombie deer disease that people were talking about for quite some time during 2021 and 2020. I actually like what Jalingo is doing here because Jalingo's game had not been overly aggressive to this point, and we both agreed that in order for We Love Soulbert to really make their mark in this series, they need Jalingo to play a little bit better. I don't necessarily know if aggressive and better are one and the same, but so far, I like the enthusiasm.
first blood, though, helping a slight gold lead come on out here for CB Diamond. Or, sorry, not CB Diamond. I might have that on the second monitor of mine right now, since that
Hey,
series is
focus.
confirmed to be going to a game 4.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. CB Diamond keeping themselves alive here, and they're looking to send it to 5 games, as is We Love Soulbert. So really, an important game on both of these streams. If you're not tuned in to stream 1, you need to be as well. And if stream 1's not tuned into here, you can't hear me right now, but you should be tuned in here too.
Yeah. That is the sad part about having double streams, is that it's near impossible to watch them both at once. Even if you have both of them up, you're kind of just giving one your main focus. Tragic.
you know what, that's
when
okay.
both
That's
streams
okay.
are,
You
I
know,
guess.
some
yes.
people don't even listen. Some people don't even listen to the casters. You know,
Yeah.
Some people do their own thing.
I know some very vocal people don't. Usually it's just their preference with casters.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we suck at this level, you know?
Gary's
Well,
going.
Terry, though, doesn't suck in a well-timed riposte to block the ultimate from Yoshishi and turn it back on him. It is a solo kill for this Fiora in the top lane, and you said it yourself, slowing down Overate, allowing a wild Terry to live in the top lane unabated.
The response looks to be diving a bot lane. Overrate does not have the ultimate quite yet. No Stormbringer does
Overrate's
not
low,
have
though.
the turret disable. You still have the health advantage. You still have the man advantage
Nahor
here. with
tanking.
health.
Oh, now it's on Overate. Nahor is able to walk out of range. Overate will survive. Soulbert will hold the flash, and it will be a well-earned kill for the side of Goth Boi Clique.
Yep, kind of expected there. The bot lane of We Love Soulbert trying their best, but Goth Boi Clique just recognizing, yeah, we might not have the Stormbringer here, but it's a low health Ashe. There's no level 6 on you. We got a wave. We're pushing up under turret. Let's make this happen. Make it happen. They do able to pick up a kill in the bot lane. Put this Ashe more on the back foot, because this Varus 49 the Z was the one who picked up first blood in that exchange. Able to get an assist here, able to now have a wave and a half-ish of a lead. And combine that with the early Infernal, putting a little bit more oomph behind these, well, not lilting blows, but that's what we're focusing on right now.
That's a lot of damage right here. So Wild Terry going to go for it. The riposte, no, just barely misses. He manages to scoot in his butt a little bit and avoid the tip of the sword. And Yoshishi will survive. I just was about to touch on how Jalingo hasn't really done that much compared to Overate and Nahor up here in the top lane. Jalingo tried really hard to get another kill onto Terry, was unable to be successful, but Jalingo will be hitting level 6 very soon, and we'll have to see if they're finally able to control the game and make it their own.
Because Lilting Lullaby, such a potent tool, but also a very telegraph tool. Because you do hear the chain go off, you can black shield it very easily. And you do gotta land the abilities for it to happen. Goth Boi Clique,
Sometimes that can be hard to do.
more than happy to keep up their early game objective domination here.
Yeah, they took a dragon earlier, and now the Herald once again. And I think a big reason why We Love Soulbert was unable to win Game 3 is because they were unable to make anything happen with that Rift Herald, if you remember early on in the game. Just did not go their way, and Goth Boi Clique hasn't had that problem so far, and I can't imagine it's going to continue.
And some pretty damn decent value out of their heralds, to say the least. And in all the games where Goth Boi Clique has gotten the first dragon in this series, they have won. But in all the games where they haven't, they have lost. So
Are you trying to tell me it's GBC win?
if we're going off of that statistic alone with a sample size of 3, yes.
Listen, this is a pretty big sample size.
Yeah.
This,
Pretty
this
dummy
two
thick.
games. Dummy thick sample size.
Yeah. Damn, shoddy, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know that's exactly what they said to Yoshishi when he just barely escaped the riposte to kill him.
Yeah.
He's thick with it, but you know he can move it.
Yeah. It's a thick boy. But, the hitboxes sometimes are just a little off when
Yeah,
it comes to champions.
yeah. You
Because
see,
there's only like 3 or 4 default sizes of hitboxes.
Right. Ooh.
It can stray away though, since Malphite, Zac, and Cho'Gath can all naturally modify theirs with various abilities. And then
Does Knight of the Zed kill Soulbert if he lands an ultimate into a WQ? Well, I think he'll be able to kill Final Ninja if he does, which he just did. Second kill for Knight of the Zed on this Varus. See a Wild Terry and Jalingo trying to make something happen up top. Potentially another
Ash
triple
ulti's
power.
coming.
Here we go, a Wild Terry trying to
That
avoid
should land.
things. Here we go, it does land perfectly. It lands flush. A Wild Terry flashes though, trying to get the healing. Can't dash out of the turret range, and once again, a failed turret dive, a 1-for-1. Jalingo and Earl King taking some damage for their trouble. In the bottom lane, Rift Herald dropped. First turret secured for Goth Boi Clique.
20 seconds until the next dragon. You have all these resources in the top lane. That's free reign on this second dragon spawn here for Goth Boi Clique. Able to make use of this Herald quite handsomely well. Ooh, almost landing that binding in. This could just be another dragon for them very early because it's spawning right now. We Love Soulbert only just exiting their base. Goth Boi Clique, I mean, they've just had these early game dragons down. We Love Soulbert. Once again, they're gonna have to do something around this next dragon because Goth Boi Clique more than happy to pounce on these as soon as they spawn. Jalingo getting pounced on though.
Yeah, the stun lock is there, the flash away, but the turret's been disabled. Jalingo trying to slow people over, flashing deep for that one. Picks up a kill, and now in trouble and fallen is Final Ninja. Earl King chasing down the bear turning it around, trying to get the shield, trying to survive, forcing Earl King into the base, but the last auto attack will do it. It'll be the first kill of the game for Earl King. And We Love Soulbert getting exploited there, but doesn't manage to trade. It's not the worst thing in the world.
It is a 2-for-1 though, because you gave up both Final Ninja and Jalingo for that, and you're looking to lose more off of that because there's still plates on the board here. And Earl King can't really walk up unless laser's up. Ash ulti coming out. Oh, actually,
The Black
Shield
Shield was late. The Black Shield's still up, though. He will manage to survive. Jalingo almost landing the Q. The root goes down. Knight of the Zed is low. Knight of the Zed is rooted. Knight of the Zed is dead, baby. Wild Terry able to survive a little scrum in the top lane. And now We Love Soulbert. They need to make a play happen here while they have the man advantage.
Hamlet is coming in. And that was just poor Black Shield timing from Nahor. It wasn't the largest window to react, but there was still plenty of time to react.
I just got caught sleeping, you know?
Yeah, got caught slipping there by Bay.
Yeah. And you can't do that when you have a Varus on your team that needs this protection against a Lilia, against a Victor, against an Ashe, against a Nautilus. You can't afford to do that and let this lead that you've cultivated slip away. As Soulbert able to slip away from a little mid lane tiff. We know it's been a problem for Goth Boi Clique giving up leads that they have constructed. And right now they have built themselves a small lead, but it's still not safe. It is still tenuous 14 minutes into the game.
The biggest thing I'm looking to is there's a Rift Herald in under a minute here.
Oh, Nahor.
Grab that.
Black Shield out. Should be okay.
That's gonna
Ultimate
despawn.
Lullaby is gonna... I don't think Jalingo knows how that interaction works.
I didn't either. I thought you pressed that, but I guess it's a debuff at the start.
It is.
So
It is.
yeah.
Well,
Kind of
that's a
a decent-
filter.
Yeah, kind of a decently large cooldown.
Hey, you know for next time.
Yeah. Thing is though, okay.
Knight of the Zed is in a little bit of trouble here, but will be able to walk out. There's no follow-up there.
Oh, that charm actually lands.
Okay, yeah, I was kind of surprised about that, but it did. Not too much that Hamlet has done this game. Had that nice flash charm in the mid lane, but chilling out at 0, 0, and 2 right now. Earl King is still continuing to get big as they do have 2 items. I find it interesting, Earl King going with the Leandries this game. On the other side, Hamlet went with a Ludens. Obviously, the team compositions were a little bit different, but I don't know. It feels like Earl King prefers this penetration and this burn and this slow burn playstyle as opposed to big oomph damage right at the start, you know?
Makes a lot of sense too, because you're facing a Scion Volibear.
Yeah,
It
it
is
does.
a lot of just pure flat health for you to be shredded on through with that Leandries. I mean, you could make an argument for the Ludens for that extra poke. Good dodge from Terry. Is it enough, though?
Terry and the 2v1. Scary Terry trying to finish off a kill. Can't. Over 8.
Rip-off.
Takes him down. But unable to
Not
finish
enough.
here. As the pings are out, they have spotted the squad. Final and Soulbert are a little low.
And took Crystal Arrows up in a few seconds.
Whoa. That's not good. Knight of the Zed. American Sniper. Make the play happen. Soulbert, Final Ninja, and the rest of the Soulbert squad forced to back off as it looks like it'll be a second Rift Herald for Goth Boi Clique. Their objective game is just far too strong. And Soul Point is up in 40 seconds, and it's pretty apparent that they are backing to try to make something happen there.
It is still fairly close, though, and we can see that Terry forcing a lot in the top lane there, able to threaten those solo kills here and able to survive the 2 versus 1 gank just barely. That is a thorn in the side here for Goth Boi Clique. That's why they want to look towards this next dragon especially hard. Because if you're able to threaten that early soul, that's just putting more pressure on the Fiora to make things happen before you just end the game. It is going to be a split push Fiora most likely here for Wild Terry, but opting right now, at least, to hop in with the team. All ultimates are up, except for that
Big
one
charm!
just used.
Earl King is low! Earl King is dead! The King has fallen. Over 8 getting credit for the kill. Final Ninja next to fall. Soulbert trying to cut it out from the backside. It's a Wild Terry who picks up 2. Yoshishi, though, in zombie form, rips through the Fiora. Jalingo in a 3v1. Soulbert's not around. Jalingo trying to dance around, do the damage. Soulbert with the cleanse. Knight of the Zed is strong right now. And you can best believe Knight of the Zed looking for that kill. Soulbert is low. Soulbert has fallen.
Oof, and it all just started off with Earl King getting charmed on up there. The instant pop onto the back line here. That's why this Volibear is just so highly valued right now. Even with the extreme jungle budget here of pennies and nickels. You're able to just do so much by using the Stormbringer into the back line. You get that instant huge health boost. You have all that damage to threaten this back line. And the fact that Earl King dropping before they could even use the Chaos Storm here, kind of a big deal, because imagine that Chaos Storm just doing all that percentage HP damage with this Leandries to that front line. It would have been a big deal. That's not the world we live in, though, especially since Earl King went for the Ghost and not the Cleanse this game.
Yeah, it was
Soul Point, very early on, though.
For sure, and again, it's just a Goth Boi Clique staple at this point. Control the early game. Dragons control the game. Huge pick by Hamlet. I said when they were 0-0-2 that they've just been hanging around. They had a decent pick, but Earl King is the one that's getting strong, and Hamlet shows up with a huge pick that could potentially be the first crack in the armor here. As We Love Soulbert, you know, they're not out of it, of course, not yet at least. The gold lead hovering around 3,000, but they are starting to fall behind more and more. As you mentioned, that soul point, the soul for this squad is actually quite beneficial. Knight of the Zed able to move around once he hits his ultimate. Nahor absolutely loves it on the ultimate. So does Hamlet and Overate. And Yoshishi, he's going to spend most of that time flying through, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's all about the rest of the map here for Goth Boi Clique right now. Yoshishi,
For another pick.
coming on out, does miss the charm.
Uh-oh, the turret's disabled. Nahor finds Final Ninja. Overrate, though, has to try to find a way out. The turret's back on. The Chaos Storm chasing him down. The Root. Jalingo has a chance. He's going to try to put him to sleep. Is used. Oh, Knight of the Zed from downtown manages to find a kill and kill any push that We Love Soulbert had. They're looking for Jalingo next. Can he find him? Fire! Fire! He holds and he's not able to get the kill. The deer will live for now. Here comes the teleport. Gonna make this minion invulnerable, as it looks like We Love Soulbert is in a lot of trouble here as Goth Boi Clique. I think they're gearing up to try to take an inhibitor turret. The charm. It was riposted, but Wild Terry is dead. It was just too many members of Goth Boi Clique, and now they're starting to take the 5-on-1s, getting the picks.
Objective bounties now up, kind of spelling that this gold lead's starting to spiral out of control. And you got to do something about it here. If you are We Love Soulbert, you've kind of been trying, but it's not enough. Because feels like Hamlet, the one really dictating these engages right now. You just pop the Spear Rush, go in, Charm lands, then you go on in. If not, I mean, you're Ari. You got another 2 dashes to shimmy on out of there. Well, Soulbert are looking for this.
Uh-oh.
Arrow does land.
Ahor has been stunned, but it's another great route coming out of Knight of the Zed. The flash is through. Look at the damage that Knight of the Zed does. He's going to find one. They're going to trade 1 for 1. Knight of the Zed firing away under the turn. He's going to find a second kill, looking for more. Soulbert is low. Overate in hot pursuit. The bear on all fours, trying desperately to get on top of the Ash. Here comes the final kill. Knight of the Zed picks up a third in this fight. Are you going to give him number 4? He's slowed. He's out of mana, but the last attack, it reads as a double kill on the screen, but on the stat sheet, that is 4 kills for Knight of the Zed, and the Baron has been started for Goth Boi Clique.
And We Love Soulbert's engaged, just not able to get on top in time, and an entire time, Knight of the Zed kind of untouched and just charging up those Qs in the back line. 7k is the gold lead. Gonna be much higher after this Baron is taken and they force their will across the map. If you're a split push, be damned, because you got Baron buff minions to kind of just counteract that here. If you are Goth Boi Clique. And similar to last game, you got time to take the Baron after you win that fight, spend all your gold, and then prep for this soul point 22 minutes into the game.
The power of friendship is certainly strong, but it is not stronger than well-played macro and a well-drafted team composition, and that is what Goth Boi Clique brings to the table. It was the power of friendship versus Goth Chicks and Fishnets, and right now I think Goth Chicks and Fishnets are winning. If you're on TikTok, you know Goth Chicks and Fishnets are winning. Goth Boi Clique looking to finish this one off, looking to gain control of the river to take another Dragon Soul.
That missing is actually such a huge
Another
blow.
charm! It's huge! A Wild Terry is able to find a way out, though. However, they've taken a little bit of damage, and they're a little low on mana. The poke coming through from Earl King and Soulbert is strong, but the teams are split. Overate is just going to go in onto Jalingo, the dragon, beating the tar out of this Lilia right now. But
look at the charm over the
get
wall.
back around. Yoshishi unable to get a knockup. Here's the Soulbert is going untouched right now. However, Overate is on top of him. Right to the Zed picks up a kill. Everybody's drowsy. A Wild Terror. Whoa! Big damage here out of Jalingo, trying desperately to turn this fight around, but it is not enough. They were only able to pick up 2 kills. Hamlet looking to find this last one. They've got Soulbert in their eyes. Are they able to catch up? I don't necessarily think so. It looks like that'll be it for Hamlet on the chase, but the Cloud Soul claimed, and another fight win for the side of Goth Boi Clique. It's a 4 for 2.
And I mean, finals hopes for We Love Soulbert kind of looking pretty damn grim here. You don't really have a good way back into this game. Everything's just kind of fallen flat, it feels.
I think it's in the miracle stage at this point, Goferino. 22 kills to 10, 24 minutes into the game. A gold lead that is threatening to get closer and closer to 10k. And they just do not have the scaling on their side right now. They need more time. A Wild Terry, who had such a strong start, has just not been afforded the opportunity to split push. They've been fighting with the team. Jalingo, you can see that the pieces are there for the puzzle, but the puzzle pieces are just not fitting together. Earl King scaling, but again, has a more penetration and long-term fight-oriented build. Not able to burst out Knight of the Zed with a Death Ray. He's not that afraid of it.
I mean, why would you be afraid of it? You can just sit at such a far range and press the Q button over and over.
There's the binding.
Good.
The arrow could be trouble. Knight of the Zed is protected by the Black Shield, and from downtown is able to find the deer. Looking for more. Look at how fast he's coming through. Knight of the Zed flashing around, making plays. Is he able to land a downtown Q? Earl King trying to run away and will fall. A Wild Terry. the last one standing. See you later, alligator. And ace, capitalized by who else but Knight of the Zed. Goth Boi Clique at every single turn have proved me wrong, and I am proud to say that Goth Boi Clique are headed to the BOL Diamond League Finals.
Yep, punching in their ticket against an unknown contender quite yet. The other series still going on, but Goth Boi Clique have been the dictators dictating this entire series so far. Even in the game they lost, it kind of happened because they made it lose. But in all the other ones, they're able to garner that early game lead here, able to just command and chokehold these objectives, Yanni. And that's what's helping them punch their ticket over the #1 seed to get into the grand finals of this Diamond League.
Really impressive stuff out of Goth Boi Clique. They showed some strong drafts. They showed a mechanical ability to play their champions. They showed an understanding of early game objectives and map rotations. They had good warding. They had it all. This team that would take early leads last series and throw them away only showed up once today. It was only in that second game that really occurred. And for 2 out of 4 games this series, they had a real early lead and clamped down on it and were able to expand upon it. And that means this team is continuously learning and getting better. And that is a scary prospect for whoever they are going to face next.
But we're going to find out who they face next, because we still have action going on the mainstream. We're probably going to be rating that pretty shortly. So I think we're going to be having to say our farewells for the night here. Me, Yanni, and Pop-Tart.
Thank you, Pop-Tart, the greatest streamer ever. But yes, as GoFrito echoed, that is it. We are done for the night. Head over to Blue Otter League 1 because you have a hell of a series on your hands between CB Diamond and Lotus. Lotus trying to win the series and CB Diamond fighting for their lives.